We are live in Brewster, Massachusetts, out at Stony Brook Field, where the Hyannis Harbor Hawks have won 5 straight, haven't dropped a ball game in over a week, and now set to hit the road to take on the Brewster Whitecaps, who are struggling to say the least. 1-8-1 in their last 10 contests, dropped last night's game by a score of 10-9 here at home against the Bourne Braves. The deciding run in that game coming on a home run to left field by ASU middle infielder Alika Williams. 10-9 the final score in that one. Hyannis, on the other hand, taking down the Wareham Gatemen 9-1 at McKeon Park at home, repaying Wareham after dropping a game 9-0 last week on their turf at Spillane Field. Tonight's post-game show brought to you by Chatham Bars Inn. The Beach House Grill at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa is the perfect spot for a seaside lunch or evening clam bake. A proud member of leading hotels around the world. Tonight will be the third time the Whitecaps and the Harbor Hawks square off in an interdivision matchup, this time on Brewster's home turf. In the previous two, it was a doubleheader back at McKeon Park over a week ago on a Sunday afternoon, where the Harbor Hawks took both games. We'll quickly take you back and relive those moments via the highlights.
Number 5 on the Cape Cod League season, coming to you live on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Alongside my broadcast partner, Lyle Goldstein, I'm Chris Lucy. In the air towards shallow center field. Barefoot, the center fielder loses it briefly in the sun, makes the play for the out, throws down, missing the cut and missing the catcher completely as into score Houston. And the Whitecaps take a 2-run lead off the sacrifice fly from Mike Massey.
Through the right side for a base hit. Coming home to score is Matthew Barefoot, and Eric Rivera finally picks up his first base hit of this Cape League season, and it could not have come at a better time. 3-3 ball game here at McKeon Park in Hyannis. Harbor Hawks set to come up on offense in the bottom of the 8th as they send their heart of the order to the plate against right-hander Andrew Schultz back on the mound for inning number 3. To the right field line, that'll get down. Rounding third, coming home is a runner in Barefoot, and Eric Rivera walks off the Brewster Whitecaps with a 1-out RBI single in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Workman up to bat to lead off for the Whitecaps. First pitch is in for a strike.
Yep, Gage Workman out of Arizona State, facing off against the lefty out of Ole Miss, freshman All-American this year, Jordan Fowler.
That is a ball into the gap, and it will get off the wall. 1 run scores, another run right behind him. It is 2-0 here with a 2-out double by Gray.
The air out in the right center field gap. This one dumps right in front of Colin Holland as a base hit. It rolls to the wall. A run comes in to score. Here comes Mossy. He scores. Going into third is Wolf. And the throw and tag applied gets Wolf as he slides into third base. And that is out number 2. And Hyannis, despite surrendering 2 runs and having their lead cut to 6-5, now has 2 outs and is only 1 out away from securing the sweep in this doubleheader here in the top of the 7th inning. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And in his Hyannis Harbor Hawks debut, Brett Schultz locks down a 6-5 win in Game 2 of a Father's Day doubleheader.
Those were the highlights from last Sunday's doubleheader between the Harbor Hawks and the Whitecaps. Hyannis winning both those games by a final score of 4-3 in Game 1 and 6-5 in Game 2. Tonight, for the third time around between these two teams, Houston Roth out of Ole Miss towing the slab for Hyannis tonight. So far on the Cape League summer, Houston's 8-0 with a 3.37 ERA, 5 strikeouts to his name, and just 2 walks. In his collegiate season in 2018 at Ole Miss, he went 5-1 with a 4.44 ERA and 52 2/3 innings pitched, walked 25, and struck out 68. On the other side, a West Coast native, James Acuna, out of the University of Oregon, plays his ball down in Eugene, taking the rubber for the Brewster Whitecaps. In his 2018 campaign at Oregon, he was 2-2 with a 6.65 ERA, 44 2/3 innings pitched, 22 walks, and 31 punch-outs. Roth so far on this Cape League summer, as we mentioned, 8 innings pitched, a 3.37 ERA, and for James Acuna, the man out of Oregon, 6 2/3 innings pitched, a 4.05 ERA, 6 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Acuna's last appearance came on June the 21st against the Orleans Firebirds when 3 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 3 earned runs. Brewster suffered that loss by a score of 3-0 at Eldridge Park. We'll be back shortly right after this. We'll have quick lineups for you, and then I'll talk to first half play-by-play man Robert Marcello about some keys to the upcoming game. We'll be back right after this here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
musicelf.com. 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 musicelf.com.
Welcome back into the Hyannis Harbor Hawks pregame show. I'm your host today, Lyle Goldstein. We went over the starting pitchers shortly before the break, but now I'll bring you through the starting lineups as they've just been announced through here on the PA system at Stony Brook Field. For your Hyannis Harbor Hawks, Davis Wenzel leading off out of Baylor, playing third base tonight. Braden Como out of Rice, hitting second and playing second. Brady Lindsley, the man out of Oklahoma, playing first base once again in the number 3 spot. Back in the cleanup hole for the second time in as many days. Matthew Barefoot, the Campbell center fielder, manning the 8 hole out on defense tonight. Pedro Pages, the FAU catcher, in the number 5 spot. He had a huge day for Hyannis last night, highlighted by a 3-run home run the opposite way, along with a double in the first inning. Todd Lott, who was Sunday's hero in game 2 with a pinch hit home run and then another in the 8th inning against the Orleans Firebirds. He hit 6 tonight, designated hitter out of Louisiana Lafayette. Eric Rivera out of FAU had a big-time day the last time against these Whitecaps with a walk-off single and a game-tying single in game 1. He hit 7th playing left field. Alec Trella in the number 8 spot manning shortstop, and rounding out the 9, Georgia Tech right fielder Colin Hall. On the other side for the hometown team in the Brewster Whitecaps, Justin Ammons, the center fielder out of Tennessee, leading off, followed by Ray Alejo, UCF second baseman. Mike Massey hitting third out of Illinois, playing third base. Connor Gramis, the designated hitter out of Xavier, in the cleanup spot. Chris Wright, the first baseman out of Bryant, hitting 5th. Cameron Eden hitting 6th, the shortstop from Cal. Brandon Wolf, who had the big double and then was thrown out at third in game 2 of the Hyannis-Brewster doubleheader over a week ago. Hitting 7th, playing left field, the man out of Stanford. Hitting 8th, Dominic Canzone, right fielder out of Ohio State. And in the number 9 spot, Christian Molfetta, another Stanford man. He'll be behind the dish tonight. Once again, the starting pitcher for the Brewster Whitecaps, James Acuna out of the University of Oregon. Before we bring in first half play-by-play man Rob Marcello, we'll quickly take you around the league for what's going on in other games of the CCBL tonight. Cotuit's out at Doran Park against the Bourne Braves. Brian Hoeing, a 2-0 record so far on this Cape League season, squares off against Griffin McClarty, 0-1 record. That one loss coming to these Hyannis Harbor Hawks at Lowell Park last Friday. At Gov Fuller Field, the Firebirds travel out there. A long trip for those Orleans Firebirds. Andrew Abbott toes the mound for them, facing off against 0-2 Scott Politz. Falmouth still sits at last place in the Western Division, 9 points back of the Harbor Hawks, 9 points total to their name, but they've been hot as of late, took both games of the doubleheader yesterday. At Spillane Field, Chatham makes their way out to Wareham for the last time this summer, squaring off against the Gatemen. Hunter Gaddis with a 2-0 record on the mound for the Anglers tonight. And finally at White House Field in Harwich, the Mariners welcome the YD Red Sox into town. Kyle Mora squares off against Brant Hunter. Hunter with a 1-0 record. Mora for the Mariners, 0-1. And with that, I'll bring in first half play-by-play man Rob Marcello. Rob, thanks for joining me today.
Not a problem, Lyle.
So these Harbor Hawks, let's first talk about it. I know we touched on it for a while last night, but how hot is this team? For a while, we saw the pitching really anchoring things, especially that back end of the bullpen. But now the starting pitching starting to click. Nick McDonald with a great start last night. The offense is really getting going. We saw the power, and you talked about that on your post-game show last night between Barefoot, Pages, so many other guys. What does Hyannis have to do today to keep all these cylinders clicking and take down a Brewster Whitecaps team that's really kind of been on a downward trend, especially over these last 10 games?
I think the Harbor Hawks have to continue to be doing what they've done really so far these past 5 or 6 games, which is getting on base and really pitching well. I think if they can do those things, they're going to have no problem winning today. And I think Roth's going to be able to do that.
Now, touching on Roth, this is his 3rd start of the summer. His first 2, he threw 4 innings in both. 2 earned runs against the Anglers, 1 earned against the Kettleers. He's been pretty solid, to say the least, for the Harbor Hawks, the right-hander out of Ole Miss, and now going off it once again against a struggling offense in the Brewster Whitecaps. Really, the bright spot of this lineup is their 2-3 punch in Ray Alejo and Mike Massey. But aside from that, everybody kind of on the struggle bus for this Whitecaps offense. What does Roth have to do? What's going to be his biggest key today for capitalizing against this Whitecaps team?
Well, I think Brewster's going to get up for this game. Definitely now the Harbor Hawks are flying high into today, being in first place. I think that's very important. So, definitely can't take it for granted, and Roth's going to have to pitch well.
Well, Rob, I thank you very much for joining me here on this pregame show. That'll about do it for me, but you can catch me on the postgame show after the game, our Around the League update in the 4th inning, which I'll be back on for briefly, as well as our video postgame show, Hawk Talk. I'll be hosting that tonight after the conclusion of this game between the Harbor Hawks and Whitecaps. You can catch that on YouTube, as well as our highlights, players of the game interview, as well as highlights of the game interviews, all on our SoundCloud. Hyannis versus Brewster squaring off tonight. 9-4-1 Harbor Hawks against the 3-11-1 Whitecaps. Chris Lucy and Robert Marcello will be bringing you all the action for that one coming up shortly here at Stony Brook Field in Brewster, here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. 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 Magic Works Media copyright.
Time for lineups and first pitch on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
Hey, folks, give Bob a big hand. Bob Matterstock.
Welcome here in Brewster this evening, a 5 o'clock start. I'm Ron Rocello. I'm here with Chris Lucy. So we have today the Hyannis Harbor Hawks taking on the Brewster Whitecaps.
Yeah, Rob, and this is a big game for the Harbor Hawks. Last night, Hyannis was able to take first place in the Western Division, and today they defend their spot atop their division and vie to stay in prime striking position to take on the rest of the league, as they have the best record, the most points in the Cape as things stand right now.
Absolutely. So just quickly talking about it just before the first pitch. Houston Roth on the mound today for the Harbor Hawks. How do you expect him to pitch, Chris?
Well, you can expect good things out of Houston Roth. You know, he's coming out of Ole Miss, and he has been outstanding for Hyannis early on this season. A 3.37 ERA and 2 games started, 8 innings pitched. He's gone 4 strong each time. 5 strikeouts. Opposing hitters out here on the Cape only hitting .233 against him. He's the right-hander out of Ole Miss, and he's somebody that can put the ball where he needs to, get outs just by having the ball put in play. Only 5 strikeouts in those 8 innings. So somebody who's not going to completely blow you away. Neither of the Ole Miss guys that Hyannis has are guys who blow you away with crazy velocity, but someone who mixes up his 3 pitches well, good fastball, curveball, changeup, and can keep the Whitecaps off balance, as Brewster has struggled to hit recently, as Hyannis is on a 5-game win streak right now. Whitecaps are in a 5-game losing streak, and they have been outslugged in a big way over that stretch.
Absolutely. James Acuna on the mound for Brewster. Davis Wenzel leading it off for the Harbor Hawks this early evening. And the first pitch is in. Ball just outside. On the outside part of the plate. Up 1-0, and the at-bat is Wenzel. 1-0 pitch. That is a strike right down the heart of the plate. 1-1 count to Wenzel. Harbor Hawks today are in their road blues with the orange sleeves, while Brewster is in their white jerseys with their turquoise sleeves. It is now 2-1. Ball just high. In the middle of the strike zone. Right around the Hyannis numbering on their jersey. 1-2 pitch. That is a strike. Just catches the edge of the plate. Now 2-2. Nobody out here early in the top of the first.
Wenzel, the leadoff man for Hyannis, Braden Como and Brady Lindsley to follow him. Como out of Rice and Lindsley out of Oklahoma.
2-2 pitch. Fouled off as Wenzel goes just behind us.
Matt Barefoot loved the 4 spot last night. He was able to hit a home run. He's back there, the center fielder out of Campbell University. Pedro Page is in the 5 spot, catching. Todd Lott out of University of Louisiana Lafayette in the 6 spot, DHing.
2-2 pitch. That is a ground ball to the shortstop. He has it. He'll throw it onto first on a hop, but able to catch it with the first baseman for the first down.
Cameron Eden making a nice play over there at short. Rounding out the batting order for Hyannis in the 7th spot, the left fielder out of Florida Atlantic University, Eric Rivera. Alec Trella, the shortstop out of Memphis, in the 8th spot. And rounding out the 9, Colin Hall from Georgia Tech, playing right field today.
Braden Como up next for the Harbor Hawks here in the top of the first. 1 out. Acuna's first pitch to Como. Just high for a ball. Up 1-0 in the count.
Como in the midst of a nice summer, a .306 batting average and 36 at-bats, 11 hits.
1-0 pitch is in for a strike right down the heart of the plate. Now it's 1-1.
We mentioned Acuna on the mound for the Whitecaps. Christian Molfetta out of Stanford is catching for him right now.
1-1 pitch. That is a ground ball, just foul. Lands right near the Whitecaps bench.
Chris Wright, the first baseman out of Bryant. Over at second base, Ray Alejo out of the University of Central Florida. At third, Mike Massey out of Illinois. At short, Cameron Eden, as we mentioned before, out of Xavier.
1-2 pitch to Como. Swing and a miss, strike three, the ball in the dirt. Catcher applies the tag on Como for the second out in the top of the first.
And going from left to right in the outfield, you have Brandon Wolf, the left fielder out of Stanford. In center, Justin Ammons out of Tennessee. And in right, Dominic Canzone from Ohio State University,
Brady Lindsley up here. 2 quick outs on the top of the first. First pitch is in. Ball just inside. 1-0 count.
Lindsley batting .231 in 5 games for the Harbor Hawks. Got 13 at-bats and 3 hits to his record.
1-0 pitch. That is a liner out to first. The first baseman unable to catch it, but it picks it up and throws it onto the pitcher for the third out. The Harbor Hawks go 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Score is still 0-0. The Whitecaps will be up in the bottom of the first. We will be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Welcome back in the bottom of the first. Whitecaps will be up for the first time today. Houston Roth, as I said at the start of the broadcast, on the mound for the Harbor Hawks. Chris, can you go through the infield for the Harbor Hawks?
Absolutely, I can. Over at first base is Brady Lindsley, who just grounded out to end the top of the first inning out of Oklahoma. Braden Como from Rice University at second base. Davis Wenzel, the third baseman, out of Baylor. And at shortstop, Alec Trella out of Memphis. And let's take a look around the outfield as well. In left field, Eric Rivera from Florida Atlantic University. Matt Barefoot, the center fielder from Campbell University. Colin Hall in right field from Georgia Tech. And catching for the Harbor Hawks today, Pedro Pages, another Florida Atlantic University Owl.
There you go, baseball fans, starting things out for your Brewster Whitecaps. We're going to start it out with a center fielder from the Tennessee Volunteers, wearing number 16, Justin Emmons.
Justin Emmons lead off for the Whitecaps.
He'll try to spark plug a lineup for the Whitecaps that has struggled to hit this year. A team batting .211 on the summer, 17 points below league average.
Roth getting ready to have his first pitch of the day here in Brewster in this early evening matchup. First pitch. That is a liner out to center field. Center field comes on to catch it for the first out here in the bottom of the first.
Matt Barefoot didn't have to move an inch to catch that baseball. Ammons down for out number 1. Ray Alejo from University of Central Florida is batting second. Mike Massey in the 3 spot from Illinois. In the cleanup spot, Connor Gramis from Xavier, DHing today. Chris Wright out of Bryant playing first base. Cameron Eden also out of Xavier, the shortstop. In the 6th spot, Brandon Wolf, the left fielder from Stanford. In the 8th spot, Dominic Canzone from Ohio State, batting 8th, and he's from Ohio State.
Ray Alejo up for the Whitecaps, second man in the order. First pitch is in for a ball as Aleo thought about bunting, but brought his bat back.
Last man in the order, Christian Molfetta out of Stanford.
1-0 pitch from Roth. That is a hit down the left field line, but caught by the left fielder of Hyannis for the second out. 2 quick outs in the bottom of the first.
2 absolutely roasted baseballs off the bats of Brewster Whitecaps as well. Might give Houston Roth a little bit of pause. Maybe he's leaving things up. It looks like he is a bit right now, but still he just has to get that front half down, make sure he hits the top of his arc pitching, and the rest should work itself out.
Mike Massey up for the Whitecaps. 2 outs in the bottom of the first.
And Mike Massey is having a season to remember out here in Brewster.
It's in there for a strike.
46 at-bats on the campaign, a .413 batting average, second only to Austin Shenton out in Wareham.
1-1 count. Pitch into Massey. That is a little blooper in field. Caught by Braden Como for the third out. Thought it was going to get out in the outfield, but the wind just took it right down. As the Harbor Hawks pitching staff doing very good once again today in a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the first. The Harbor Hawks will be up in the the top of the second. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright.
Welcome back in the top of the second. Matthew Barefoot to lead off for the Harbor Hawks. In the top of the second. First inning took less than 10 minutes. One of the quicker ones we've had so far this year as Roth worked very quickly, so is Acuna.
Only needed 6 pitches, and that's what happens when you get outs by contact. Don't have to throw too many, and keeps you fresh, too.
First pitch in the at-bat is just foul. And it's just in back of us here in Brewster. You're joining us at a 0-0. No hits on either side in the first. That is the first hit. Just as I said, that is the first hit of the game. Matthew Barefoot with a leadoff single right up the middle. Gets down.
Count that as a broadcaster's jinx, or maybe just Matthew Barefoot's skill shining out here on the island. .343 batting average coming into today. That was his 13th hit of the season, leading the Harbor Hawks right now. He is just really showing the scouts and the entire country right now what he's worth, and he's doing it all for the Harbor Hawks. Playing a great center field and also hitting some timely pieces. Came off a great game last night, too, with a home run and a pair of walks.
Pedro Pages now for the Harbor Hawks. Had a big game last night with a screecher out to center field. Hit off the wall. Haven't seen that yet this year. Pages not really a power guy, but he showed it off last night.
How about the 3-run home run out to right field, too, on a 2-strike count?
1-0 pitch. Ball just inside low. It's now 2-0 count. Pages in a hitter's count.
And you talk about when it rains, it pours. Hyannis winning 9-1 last night. 3 players with multiple RBIs for Hyannis. Pages, one of them, and Barefoot, another.
2-0 pitch. Swing and miss of that high fastball was Pages. Unable to catch up to it. It's now 2-1 count. One out, man on first in the top of the second. 0-0.
Already swiped a pair of bags early on this season and swiped 30 for Campbell this year.
3-1 pitch. That's in for a strike. Page just thought that was going to be ball 4. Looking silly up at the plate.
He knows it too. He's got a big smile on his face as he readjusts his batting gloves and come back into the box. Keeping in good spirits. Didn't like the call, but he's got a battle now. 3-2 count.
Sure does. And a lot of home plate umpires don't appreciate it when guys do that, and they'll more than likely call it a strike if they see the guy just kind of running away. 3-2 pitch. That is a ground ball to the shortstop. He throws it on to second, throws it on to first for the double play, and 2 outs in the top of the second. Looked like the Harbor Hawks had something brewing, but quickly a double play brings that off. But now Todd Lott, power hitter for the Harbor Hawks, is now up.
Todd Lott side for the team lead in home runs. He's hit 3 jacks on the season. Matt Barefoot, the other, with 3. Also batting .290 on the Harbor Hawks campaign, but he's a bit of a free swinger. Leads the team with 13 strikeouts.
First pitch with 2 outs in the top of the second, just foul. Goes to the left of us. Hits the netting, though, behind home plate. Down 1-0 quickly is Lott. First pitch, and that is a hit by pitch. Lott taking off the shoulder, but he's all right. Looks like it doesn't even phase him.
Yeah, it looked like there's a changeup thrown right there by Acuna, and he left it up and right at Todd Lott. He crowds the plate a little bit with that front elbow, too. So bounced right off him. Not a very fast pitch necessarily. He was trying to go off speed. So Todd Lott shaking it off pretty easy. Taking the first base, too. The free base, I should say. Excuse me.
Eric Rivera now up for the Harbor Hawks. Man on first, 2 out in the top of the second. If you're just joining us here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. 0-0. No score. Pitch into Rivera. Swing, and it missed that high fastball. Right up around the letters.
The Florida Atlantic product still trying to work his way into a lather this year, batting .161 in 11 games for Hyannis, 31 at-bats. But drove in a pair of runs yesterday.
1-0 pitch into Rivera. That is a little blooper out to the second baseman. He catches it on a line out. The Harbor Hawks unable to score in the top of the second. The Whitecaps will be up in the bottom of the second. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Welcome back here in the bottom of the second. Whitecaps are up.
Connor
Gramus now up for the Whitecaps. First pitch in for a strike. Right down the heart of the plate. .1-0 pitch. That's a ball just low. It's a 1-1 count. Here in the bottom of the second.
Today's designated hitter for the Whitecaps, coming out of Xavier, batting .242, leads this team in home runs with 3.
1-1 pitch. That is a ground ball to the shortstop. He's unable to get it. Throws on to first, and he'll be safe. And that will be a
Now stepping up to the plate
leadoff
for your
runner.
first baseman.
We'll have to find
wearing
out.
number
That is an
12,
error
making his home in
on the
Cumberland, Rhode
shortstop.
Island, attending Bryant University.
They call it an E6 on Alec Trella as he just messed up kind of the transition from glove to hand with the baseball. Still able to recover and didn't drop it. Threw it just behind the runner, Gramis.
Chris Wright now up for Brewster. That's in for a strike right down the heart of the plate. Quickly down 1-0 is Wright.
Batting .256 in 13 games, 39 at-bats for the Whitecaps. Got himself 10 hits on the year.
A 1 pitch. In for a strike. A nasty pitch there by Roth. Got Wright buckling his knees. Quickly down 0-2, and the count is Wright. Man on first. Nobody out in the bottom of the second. 0-0 still here in Brewster. Pitches goes just foul, lands into the woods just behind us here in Brewster.
Roth working quickly from the stretch right now. This is his first time working from the stretch in this entire game. I mean, he went through the bottom of the first like a buzzsaw, just getting everybody. Looks comfortable, though.
Throws back to first, but Rammers will be safe. Not taking much of a big lead, but Roth still worrying about him here. 0-2 pitch. That is a ground ball. Roth taking it off his glove, throws it to first base. He's able to get him out for the first out, but the runner does advance to second base. For the first time today, either side of a runner in scoring position.
Nice play from Roth, recovering. As a pitcher, you worry sometimes if guys are sticking their hands out there to try and field pretty hardly grounded balls right back at them. But that's a base hit if he doesn't put his glove out. So Roth saving himself probably an earned run there and just sacrificing moving Gramis up to second.
Cameron Eden now up. Brewster here has a chance to score. Runner at second. Ball inside low, but Roth trying to get out of this jam.
The junior plays his college ball over at Cal, batting .258 on the summer, 31 at-bats, 8 hits. Driven in 3 RBIs as well. He's looking for more with that runner on second, trying to break a scoreless tie.
Throws back to second base, but he'll be safe. Como unable to get tagged down in time. That runner over at second did take a big lead there.
And Houston Roth is paying attention to him as well. Been working pretty quickly, though, getting to the plate in a hurry.
1-0 pitch. It's a ball outside. Now it's 2-0. Roth trying to find his command here in the bottom of the second. He's been in a lot of hitter counts here in the 3 batters you've seen. Roth in the set. Looks back at second. Throws it in. That's a ball down low in the dirt, but Page is able to make a good stop. The 3-0 count.
Page is making it look effortless behind home plate. Getting his glove right out in front of the baseball. Falls with his body, but knew that he'd be able to get his glove and make the stop on a true hop on the dirt here at Brewster.
Roth in a little trouble here with a man on second and now down 3-0 in the count. Trying to get me over fastball, and he sure does. The 3-1 count. Pitch was just a little inside, but they call it a strike. For 1 pitch. Right down the heart of the plate for a strike.
Full count. This is a big pitch right here for Roth and a big at bat for Eden, too. He's just trying to find himself out here in the Cape. Slugging percentage fell more than 180 points between his freshman and sophomore year at Cal.
3-2 pitch. Ball 4 just low. And a one-out walk now has runners both at first and second.
And now running number 46 for your Brewster Whitecap from Stanford University, the left fielder, Brandon Wolf.
Brandon Wolf now up for the Whitecaps. Big spot for him as Brewster really hasn't been able to produce a lot of runs so far this year.
Although he drove in a pair against the Harbor Hawks in their most recent confrontation.
Pitches in for a strike inside. Quickly up 1-0 in the count is Roth.
Those 2 RBI are the only on his stat line right now. Wolf batting .217 in 7 games with Brewster. 23 at-bats. He has 5 hits. Struck out 11 times.
1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss now quickly down 0-2 is Wolf.
And you have to love the off-speed offering low and away right there. Don't give Wolf anything to hit. He's been known to chase, so see if you can make him chase, especially in an 0-2 count.
0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss as Wolf at that. That's the off-speed pitch from Roth for the second out in the bottom of the second.
And there you have it. That wasn't really a pitch near Wolf's wheelhouse whatsoever. It was up and in on the hands and dipping around closer to the zone. So maybe Wolf felt compelled to swing to try and defend, but not something that would have been easy to get his hands on.
Dominic Canzone now up for Brewster. Big opportunity here for the Whitecaps. Pitches in for a strike. Fastball.
This is a big opportunity for Canzone to get his numbers up as well, batting .150 on the season, 6 games, only 20 at-bats, only mustered 3 hits in those 20 trips to the plate.
A 1 pitch. It's a ball in the dirt. Pages makes another great stop. Takes it off the catcher's chest gear. Now 1-1 count.
Canzone, though, a decorated player at OSU. .323 batting average for the Buckeyes this year. Second team all Big Ten.
1-1 pitch. Just foul. Gets the end of the bat. There was Canzone. Now down 1-2 in the count.
Canzone, one of a litany of replacements you see on the field for Brewster. A lineup that has really just had a facelift since the last time these two teams met.
1-2 pitch. Just foul. There gets a piece on that was Canzone, but unable to get it fair as it bounces right back to the backstop. Here in Brewster. 2 runners on, 2 out in the bottom of the second. 0-0 tie between Hyannis and Brewster. 1-2 pitch. That is a laser out to right field. And that will get down. And that is gone. Home run. It is now 3-0 Brewster. And Canzone puts a laser out to right field. Just fair. Down the line.
Well, between college and the Cape, that's 5 homers on 2018 for Canzone. Hit 4 of them down in Columbus. And what a shot off his bat. Sending that one out down to right field. 321 out to dead right field. And that thing was on a line coming towards the foul pole out there. And he still was able to sneak it in there and get the Brewster Whitecaps out front early, which is huge as his team is trying to come off of a 5-game losing streak and break it against the team with the best league in the record in the league.
Christian Lofetta up the plate for Brewster, and that first pitch is in for a strike. Swing and missing at that high fastball, something that both teams today have been fooled on. 0-1 pitch outside low. One pitch. That is in the dirt. Page is able to make the stop.
Molfetta
2-2 count.
Molfetta only batting .091 on the season, so Roth going right after him.
Pitch is in. That is a ball. Two-two pitch. Ball in the dirt now, runs the count full at 3-2. Roth struggling a little bit here in the second.
I mean, you can see why he'd want to waste one against Molfetta, who's definitely pressing to say the least, and also has 9 strikeouts on the year.
3-2 pitch. That ball goes foul. Past the Harbor Hawks dugout, which is on the first base side. Count still at 3-2, 2 outs. Brewster is up 3-0. Canzone with a 3-run shot down the right field line. Another pitch is in, and that goes foul. Como thought about running to get it, but saw it was going to be way ahead of him and out of the field of play.
Definitely a battle right now for Roth, as got ahead in the count and now has got it worked all the way back to 3-2 and a couple foul balls as well.
3-2 pitch. Another foul ball. Goes behind us and into the playground just behind us here in Brewster at their field.
Roth only threw 6 pitches in the first inning, and now he's up more towards 35. It's been a laborious inning for him.
3-2 pitch. Another foul ball. Lands just to the right of us in the netting. People jumping for the ball, but don't worry, the net's there to protect you.
They take good care of you out here in the Cape Cod League. Got us right near the action down behind home plate.
Another 3-2 pitch. That is a ground ball to the shortstop. He makes a good play on it. He'll throw it on to first, but a bad throw there. Lindsley unable to get it, and another error for the Harbor Hawks. And the bottom of the second continues. It looks like they were going to be able to get out of it.
Well, the E6 from Trella earlier in this inning got this inning off on the wrong foot for Hyannis, as if he was able to convert on that first opportunity to lead things off in the bottom of the second, this thing would have ended before Dominic Canzone came up, and he wouldn't have even had a chance to hit that 3-run home run that has the Harbor Hawks down 3-0 at the moment. So definitely a very rough inning at short for Trella, which is strange considering that it's his natural position, and he looked fine at second base yesterday.
Emmons back to bat in the bottom of the second. He batted in the bottom of the first. Quickly was settled down on first pitch. Up 1-0 in this at bat, though. Second pitch is in for a strike. He runs down to second. Pages didn't even notice that he was going, and Trella didn't even run to go over.
Alec Trella really starting to overthink things, I think, right now up the middle. He just has to get back to being natural and playing at his natural position as well. He was the shortstop at Memphis, been up the middle most of the season for Hyannis as well.
1-1 pitch, in for a strike. Emmons didn't like that pitch. Now 1-2 count. 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Brewster is up 3-0.
Hyannis trying to prolong a 5-game win streak. The Whitecaps trying to end a 5-game losing streak. Brewster off to a better start than Hyannis.
1-2 pitch. That is a infield fly ball that's going to get down. The center fielder, though, calls it off to get it. And that will be enough damage in the bottom of the third, but not until Brewster was able to score 3 runs. It is 3-0 Brewster. Hyannis will be up in the top of the third. We will be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. welcome back here in Brewster. The score is 3-0. Currently, Brewster. Cunha going back out for his third inning of work.
The shortstop from the Tigers.
Alec Trella
Alex
up to bat. Let's see if he
Trella.
can redeem himself here, as he had a troubling last inning in the field, making a couple of errors. See if he can redeem himself here. First pitch. In for a strike right down the heart of the plate. One hit for both sides here, but Hyannis has 2 errors, costly, as I'm down 3-0 in this game. Ball low. 1-1. One pitch. That is a ground ball that goes right off his foot. Charles limping around, but I'm sure he'll be all right. Now he's going back to the batter's box, and he'll be all right. Just shaking off his foot, as he does have a protector on it, but unfortunately, that can only help you so much. One-two pitch. That is in there. Strike 3, just catches the inside part of the zone. Dulles strikes out for the first out in the top of the third.
From Georgia Tech, here's the Hyannis Harbor right fielder. Colin
Hall. Now up for the Harbor Hawks. One out in the top of the third. Brewster is up 3-0 if you're joining us here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. First pitch of the at-bat. In for a strike. Low middle in. One-zero pitch. Ball goes foul down the left field line. Will land in the Brewster bullpen. No warming up though. Oh-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for the Harbor Hawks. Has them quickly down in the top of the third. Wenzel now back up. Leadoff hitter today for the Harbor Hawks.
Here we go. Top of the order, wearing number 8. From Baylor University, third baseman, David Wenzel.
2 quick outs in the top of the third. Harbor Hawks really have not gotten anything really going today. Pitch is in for a strike. As in the top of the second, it looked like that they were going to get something going with a first man on, but quickly double off. 1-0 pitch. Ball just outside. Unable to catch it as the catcher, and that will go in the backstop. But no runners are on base. 1-1 count. Here to Wenzel. Pitches in. Ball just high. Curves back into the zone, but would not have been a strike. First looked like it was going to hit him on the shoulder, but just curves right back in. Up 2 on the count is Wenzel. 2-1 pitch. Ball's inside once again. It's a 3-1 count. Wenzel trying to get on with 2 outs in the top of the third, with them being down 3-0. 3-1 pitch. Has a ball inside there, right around Wenzel's shoulder, but he does not get hit, and a 2-out walk now sends up Braden Como for the Harbor Hawks.
Second baseman, Brendan Como.
Wenzel taking a small lead over at first. First pitch to the bat is in. That is a liner out to the first baseman. He doesn't have to step on first. The Harbor Hawks unable to score in this inning. It is still 3-0 Brewster. They'll be up in the bottom of the third. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Welcome back here in Brewster in the bottom of the third.
Here we go,
Roth
ladies
still on
and
the
gentlemen.
mound
He was number
for
22 for your Whitecaps.
the Harborhawks.
The second baseman from the University of Central Florida, one of the Knights, Ray Alejo.
Ray Aleo. Now for Brewster to lead off in the bottom of the third. They are up 3-0. You're just joining us here on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network. I am Robert Marcello. And quickly, just like that, they have a leadoff single. Liner in between the shortstop and third baseman. And Brewster, once again, starting some trouble here in the bottom of the third for Roth.
And now stepping up to the plate, wearing number 30 for your Whitecaps. He's a fighting Illini from the University
Mike
of Illinois.
Massey.
Here's third baseman, Mike Massey.
Now up for Brewster. Runner on first. Nobody out in the bottom of the third. Roth trying to just keep it to 3-0 here in Brewster. First pitch is in. First strike. Runner at first taking the lead, throws back to first, but he'll be safe. A one pitch. That is a liner out to left field. He's able to catch it, but unable to double him off as the runner at first quickly goes back to first.
Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter, ladies and gentlemen, wearing number 24. From Arizona State University, here is Hunter Bishop.
Hunter Bishop out of ASU. Now he'll be pinch hitting. Pages and Roth now meeting out on the mound. Here in the bottom of the third. Hyannis is down 3-0 in this game. One out, a runner is on first, throw back to first, he'll be safe. Brewster now has 2 hits. Hyannis to 1, but Hyannis has those 2 big errors. Puts a bunt down, but will be foul. Lands right near the Brewster bench. It's a little cloudy here today, and Brewster start out the day pretty sunny. Throws back to first, he'll be safe. Good news is no chance of rain today. Tomorrow, the Harbor Hawks will be back in action, as they were supposed to have an off day, but have to make up a game against Falmouth. 0-1 pitch. Ball low. 1-1. One pitch. Swing and a misses Bishop. Now down 1-2 in the count. One out in the bottom of the third. Brewster is up 3-0. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss that high fastball for the second out in the bottom of the third.
Wearing number 12 for your Whitecaps out of Bryant University, one of the Bulldogs.
Chris Wright.
Chris Wright.
Up for Brewster, as the PA announcer said it right before I did. Runner on first, 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Pitches in, the runner goes. Pages throws down to second, and he is out. A great throw by Pedro Pages. No run score here in the bottom of the third. It is 3-0. The Harbor Hawks will be up in the top of the fourth. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
We are back here
Here we go,
in
folks.
Brewster in the
Number
top of the
30.
fourth.
From the University of Oklahoma, one of the
Brady
Sooners,
Lindsley.
first baseman, Brady Lindsley.
Up for the Harbor Hawks.
Brady in his second ups today, 0 for 1.
First pitch of the bat is in. Ball hits just foul. Quickly down 1-0 in the count is Lindsley.
James Acuna really enjoying this run support that he's gotten today and worked 3 perfect innings in his last outing here in Brewster. So definitely feeling at home with a 3-run cushion and at home just because he's playing in front of a home crowd as well.
A 1 pitch. Ball inside. There, Lindsley had to back up, but just caught the edge of the zone. Now down 0-2 is Lindsley.
Only hit Acuna's given up today is a single in the second. And that was doubled off later.
0-2 pitch. Ball in the dirt goes just past the catcher. It's now 1-2. One-two pitch. Ball just outside. Now 2-2.
You know, Rob, one thing that really helps with younger pitchers is the fact that Acuna has been able to work from the windup pretty much this entire game because he hasn't had any base runners really to rush his delivery.
Very true. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss that high fastball. Something the Harbor Hawks have not been able to hit really today. Another strikeout for Acuna.
No, and that fastball is one thing that really has the Brewster Whitecaps very high on the sophomore out of Oregon. It can get up to the low to mid 90s, and really, he spots it up very well when he's comfortable, which the Whitecaps have been able to see in both of his past 2 starts, as he's looking great right now. And again, 3 perfect innings in his previous appearance.
Now up is Matthew Barefoot of the Harbor Hawks. First pitch goes foul, lands behind the backstop. Now 1-0 in the count.
And a game like this will really do wonders to calm down a team that feels a bit shell-shocked from last night. They gave up 4 home runs to the Bourne Braves.
1-0 pitch. Just catches the outside edge of the plate. Down 0-2.
You have to imagine you almost feel as if you've bottomed out at that point. A 10-9 loss to stretch a losing streak to 5 games. It's just a very, very tough way to go down for the Whitecaps last night.
Acuna really working quickly. Ball in the dirt. A waste pitch there, trying to get Barefoot to swing and miss at a ball in the dirt. Now still up 1-2 in the count to Matthew Barefoot. 1-2 pitch. Another ball in the dirt. Barefoot did not offer it that one either. It's now 2-2 count. 1 out in the top of the 4th. Brewster is up 3-0. They have 2 hits to Hyannis' 1. But Hyannis has 2 errors to Brewster's 0. 2-2 pitch. Ball just low, right around his knees. So now the count runs 3-2.
Those 2 errors as well, Rob, both from the same position. Alex Trella at shortstop really just not in a good zone in the bottom of the 2nd.
3-2 pitch. That is a ground ball to the shortstop. He throws on to first, and the first baseman had to stretch out to get it for a 2nd out in the top of the 4th.
Smooth play right there from Eden, making it look pretty easy almost. I mean, the shortstop out of Xavier having to come up the middle, and his momentum was carrying him towards first, so he was able to get a nice smooth, almost looking like it was one motion, picking up the ball and then just rifling it over to the bag at first. A very smooth, nice-looking play, and definitely more reason for Acuna just to breathe, relax, and continue cruising up there on the mound.
Pedro Pages now up for the Harbor Hawks, the catcher. That ball just outside, thought it caught the edge of the plate, but the home plate umpire didn't think so. Brewster catcher tried to frame it back into the zone. 1-0 pitch. That is a strike in about pretty much the same exact spot.
Mike Beal keeping that outside corner. Pretty uniform throughout the game. Dave Perry's his man down first base, and at second or at third, Jeff Kinney.
1-1. That is a ball way in the dirt. Bounces behind the backstop. Nobody on base, though. The ball landed way before home plate.
Definitely a waste pitch right there from Acuna. Now Beal, the home plate umpire, has to come back and get the baseball himself. A little bit of confusion between the ball boys here in Brewster and for Hyannis as well.
2-1 is the count. Pages up. Something the Harbor Hawks batter really have not been able to say so far today. They've been down in pretty much every at bat. That is now a strike. Runs the count now 2-2. Page is shaking his head, agreeing with the call.
Now he has to defend the plate.
2-2 pitch. That ball is in low, lands the back of the backstop again. The Harbor Hawks bat boy, though, runs to get the ball this time.
Page is 0 for 1 today, so just trying to find something to get a hold of to stay alive.
Calls time as Pages wasn't necessarily ready for the bat. 3-2 pitch. Ball in the dirt. Ball 4 and a 2-out walk. Now plates Todd Lott. Now the plate, some home run power here to try to cut into this 3-0 lead.
Well, Todd Lott has been one to show that he can change the outcome of a game with just one swing of the bat. We saw it at Orleans, where he not only tied that game with a solo shot in a pinch hitting appearance, no less, but then came up in technical extra innings in the second game of a doubleheader. It was the top of the 8th inning, and then he cranked another one the opposite way out to right field and gone. This is a dangerous matchup for the Whitecaps right now.
First pitch is in, and that is a laser out to right field. That will get down. Page is running into third, and runners on the corners with 2 outs. Lott with a laser out to right field.
We've seen a couple of lasers shot out there to right field. Unfortunately for the Harbor Hawks, the one that left the yard coming off the bat of the Ohio State product in Dominic Canzoni to put them down 3-0. But a great piece from Todd Lott. Again, he's really been a lot shorter to the ball and saw a ball that he really liked. So was able to crank on it. Didn't quite get it out of the yard, but put runners on the corners for Hyannis. And Eric Rivera is in a good position right now to contribute to what could be a rally for Hyannis.
Como now up for the Harbor Hawks. Runners on the corners. Does not swing at that high pitch.
Yeah, Eric Rivera doing a good job laying off that pitch out there. Nothing out of the zone really can draw a swing in a situation like this. 2 down, runners on the corners.
It's now 2-0 count. Rivera is up. Runners on the corners. 2 outs in the top of the 4th. Brewster is up 3-0.
Hitters count for Rivera.
That is a ground ball to the shortstop. He'll throw it on to second. Unable to cash in on that great opportunity. Is still 3-0. Here in Brewster, they'll be up in the bottom of the 4th. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Rob Marcello and Chris Lucy.
Welcome back in the bottom of the 4th.
From Bryant University in Rhode
Roth
Island.
back out there for his 4th inning of work.
Here is Chris Wright.
Chris Wright up for the Whitecaps to lead it off in the bottom of the 4th.
Chris Wright leading things off for the Whitecaps here. A reprise of his previous at-bat.
First pitch is inside, ball 1.
Was batting in the bottom of the 3rd when Ray Alejo was caught stealing, and that sent him back to the bench.
Good crowd here in Brewster so far today. In for a strike, runs the count now at 1-1.
Well, fans coming out in droves to support their Whitecaps to turn around what's been a rough stretch of games and overall rough season for them so far.
1-1 pitch. The ball is in low, lands into the dirt, but Page is able to stop it.
I mean, we take a look at the Eastern standings right now. Brewster in last place, 3 points behind the Orleans Firebirds with 7 points, a 3-11-1 record, worst on the island right now.
It's now a 3-1 count to right. And the last pitch was high and the other pitch was just outside. 3-1 in for a strike, runs the count full at 3-2. nobody out in the bottom of the fourth. Brewster is up 3-0. 3-2 pitch. Just fouled off. Lands behind the backstop into the netting, just behind home plate. Right near the Brewster Whitecaps broadcasters and PA announcer on the second floor. Have quite the interesting setup here in Brewster. Another 3-2 pitch lands just right in front of them with the netting covered.
I mean, it's just classic Cape Cod broadcasting, if you ask me, Rob, where we're at right now. So they've set us up right at the backstop, essentially, just behind home plate.
3-2 pitch. That is a ground ball to the first baseman, Lindsley. He throws it on to Houston Roth for the first out in the bottom of the fourth.
But I mean, if we can continue just kind of peeking our heads out from behind the radio curtain here, we're at a small plastic table just behind the backstop. Our soundboard, everything's set up. A lot of wires just kind of trailing their way down towards the broadcast booth where the two broadcasters for the Brewster Whitecaps are stationed right now. It's kind of your classic down-home setup. Very summer baseball, if you've ever called summer league games, which I'm not sure many of our listeners have, but still.
Cameron Eden up the bat for Brewster. That's in for a strike. Down 0-1.
Worked a walk in his first trip to the plate earlier in this game. Came around to score one of 3 runs, driven in by the home run from Canzoni.
In for a strike, quickly down 0-2. And Roth trying to go 1-2-3 for the second straight inning.
Working quickly right now.
0-2 pitch. Ball just low. Now 1-2.
Almost as if Roth's kind of swings here in this game have kind of come and gone as the Harbor Hawks have.
1-2 pitch, ball in the dirt. Now runs the count at 2-2.
And you know what I mean by that being when the Harbor Hawks were kind of in the dumps, the big inning was really what killed them. And the big inning really what's killing Roth right now, that 3 spot in the bottom of the second inning.
2-2 pitch. Ball just high. It will land in the field of play. Caught by Lindsley for the second out. Looked like that was going to be foul, but the wind pushed it back into the field of play.
Yeah, pitched it back into foul territory. You're right, Rob. It looked like it was going to kind of get over the netting down the first base line, but Brady Lindsley, the everyday catcher at Oklahoma, not really feeling all that comfortable yet at first base. He's still getting into things, able to take charge in that moment and call off Pedro Pages too.
Very similar to a place that a lot of these guys will be going in a couple of weeks. Fenway Park down the left field line does that a lot. And it appears here in Brewster it does the same thing.
Well, there you go. A lucky blow for the Harbor Hawks there.
Wolf now back up for the Whitecaps. Last time he was up, he struck out.
And now he's back in an 0-2 count again. Roth staying away from the zone, trying to make him miss. Made him swing and miss it. 2 pitches just now.
0-2 pitch. Swings at it on a check swing. Wolf didn't like that from the home plate umpire. He was frustrated. The second time today, he struck out, and he let the home plate umpire know about it, but he's walking back to the dugout. Back-to-back innings, the Harbor Hawks have not let up any runs. It is still 3-0 here. The Harbor Hawks will be up in the top of the 5th. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Hi there, everybody. I'm Lyle Goldstein, your Hyannis Harbor Hawks pregame and postgame show host tonight. The Hyannis Harbor Hawks would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your team's favorite design or create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves. Now to your quick around the league update, but not much to update other than the 3-0 score here in Brewster, as no other teams have started yet. Orleans and Falmouth, along with Whitey and Harwich, set to kick off within a matter of minutes. Chatham out at Wareham. That game set to start at 6:30 p.m. And just shortly, Katuitt will take on Bourne at 6 p.m. I'll quickly throw it back to the broadcasters here, Chris and Robert, for the top half of the fifth on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Thank you, Lyle. We're back here in Brewster. It is 3-0 Brewster. Trella now up to lead off for the Harbor Hawks. First pitch just high. The last time he was up, he struck out. Not a common theme, well, a very common theme for the Harbor Hawks so far today. Really for both sides, but Brewster got the better of it as they are up 3-0. Swing and a miss. Strike right down the heart of the plate. Estrella.
4 strikeouts for Hyannis today. You're right, Rob. It really has victimized the Harbor Hawks as they're trying to fight their way back from a 3-0 hole.
1-1 pitch. Just does not catch the strike zone there. Looked like that was going to be a strike, and so did the whole Brewster crowd. But the home plate umpire didn't see it that way, as he has the best view. 2-1 pitch. That is a ground ball that will get past the shortstop and a leadoff single for Alec Trella. Gets the Harbor Hawks going.
Well, that's what Alec Trella needs, just to kind of claw his way back into the good graces of Harbor Hawks fans. That pair of E6s he had in the bottom of the second inning really prolonged a very, very tough inning for Hyannis, which culminated, of course, in the 3-run home run from Dominic Canzone, which is the difference in this ball game right now. I mean, Hyannis just pulled ahead with hits with 3-2 now, but one of those 2 hits for Brewster happened to drive in 3 runs.
Colin Hall now up for the Harbor Hawks. First pitch is in, hits it foul, catches the part of the bat in between the barrel and the knob. Can't really do much with that as it just goes foul. Quickly down 0-1 in the count. A 1 pitch. Fouls it off once again, quickly down 0-2. It's Hall trying to get something going here for the Harbor Hawks. They really have not had much going today.
Trying to get something going for his season as well. He stands at 3 for 20 on the summer, batting 150.
0-2 pitch. Throws it. That ball just inside. It looked like it was going to catch the edge of the plate, but did not.
Colin Hall getting a little bit lucky right there at that left side. The righty Acuna has just been dealing today, Rob.
Sure has. Acuna's 1-2 pitch. Ball in the dirt. Runner unable to advance is the catcher for the Whitecaps. Able to get that off the ground.
The fastball Acuna has has really enabled him just to go after Hyannis hitters today.
2-2 pitch. Ball just outside. Runs the count at full 3-2. Runner on first. Nobody out here in the top of the fifth. And this could be the inning the Harbor Hawks get it going.
And chalk that up to a quality at-bat for Colin Hall, one he desperately needed.
3-2 pitch. Ball 4. And Colin Hall getting 2 very favorable calls this bat. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. And Wenzel's now up. One of the better hitters in the Harbor Hawks order.
I mean, a walk is a walk, especially when it moves a runner over to second base and brings up your leadoff hitter in Davis Wenzel, who's 0 for 1 today, but has also worked a free base on balls.
And the pitching coach of the Whitecaps meeting out with
Brewster baseball fans, while we have this break in the action, like to remind
well, it's a good coaching moment for Chip Dill here, as Acuna really has just cruised all day long, but now he's in a sticky situation. And when you have a tight game like this, a 3-0 game with a young pitcher, an underclassman at that, he's just coming off of his freshman year at Oregon. You need to come out and settle him down a little bit, not only for the pitcher's sake, as he's trying to develop this summer, but also for the sake of winning the game. I mean, with a guy like Wenzel at the plate and 2 runners aboard and only a 3-0 lead to defend, one swing of the bat can really shake things up and speed the game up a good deal on the young man on the mound right now. So a smart mound visit right there from Chip Dale. Get him to breathe, calm down, and now everybody's reset to go for baseball.
Runners at first and second. Nobody out in the top of the 5th. This is probably the best chance the Harbor Hawks have had so far today. Have to capitalize on this. Pitch is in. Ball just outside. Wenzel up in the count early. 1-0. Pitch. Ball's high. Now in a hitter's count, up 2-0.
Wenzel leads the Harbor Hawks in walks. So definitely don't expect to see him swing at anything that he doesn't love. 10 walks on the campaign for the Baylor Bear.
2-0 pitch. Ball just catches the zone there right around his knees. Wenzel with an interesting look at home plate there. Just kind of slightly shaked his head and then moved back in the batter's box, but he's back in.
A little shrug.
2-1 pitch. That is outside. The count now is 3-1. And with a base open at third, but does not want to get the bases loaded.
Absolutely not. You see what looks like a lefty getting loose out in the bullpen now for the Whitecaps.
3-1 pitch. Just fouls off, but that will go up to the second baseman. He has it. Now be an infield fly. The runners did not advance, and that is one gone. At first glance, it looked like it was going to go out. But I was definitely wrong as it went right to the second baseman.
No, sometimes that'll get you. I mean, he got good contact on it, but Wenzel just getting completely underneath the baseball, sending it high into the air. And it's a blustery day here, so any baseballs that you get really too much air under will kind of die out and probably stay in the ballpark.
Braden Como. Now up, runners at first and second, one out on the top of the 5th. First pitch is low outside for ball 1.
That was a big out right there for Acuna. You just have to say it. Getting that first out, reminding yourself that you're still cruising in this game. You're still throwing a shutout, despite the runners that you have on base.
Absolutely. 1-0 pitch. That's fouled off. Is Como, and that will land in the back of the backstop. Here. 1-1 count to Como. One out in the top of the 5th. One pitch. And it will get down. And the bases now will be loaded with one out. Here in the top of the 5th. Acuna in a little trouble.
Luckily for Acuna, his Pac-12 counterpart Brandon Wolf was playing short out in left field, was able to get that ball on one hop, quickly relayed it into the shortstop Eden, and just keep everybody station to station.
And it appears that will be the day for Acuna. Pitched very well through 4 1/3 innings. And a reliever will now come on. We'll wait for him to get warm up. We'll be right back. The score is 3-0. Bases are loaded, one out. Here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
We are back here in Brewster. Chris Murphy on the mound for Brewster, the relief pitcher. He's going to try to help Acuna get out of this jam with Braden Lindsley. Brady Lindsley now up to bat for the Harbor Hawks. Bases are loaded, 1 out. They're down 3-0, and a huge hit here to draw this game to a tie or even take a lead with a grand slam.
That's true, but Murphy, not an easy case. A 0 ERA in 5 1/3 innings pitched. Opponents hitting only 167 against him on the Cape League summer. Lefty out of San Diego stands at 6'1", 185 and has been a buzzsaw on the island so far.
First pitch is in low for a ball. Catcher for Brewster brought it up, tried to frame it, but the home plate umpire did not think so. One 0 pitch. Ball low. Lindsley now up in the count, 2-0. Bases are loaded with 1 out in the top of the 5th. Brewster is up 3-0.
Harbor Hawks trying to defend a 5-game win streak while Brewster trying to get out of a 5-game losing streak.
2-0 pitch. That ball goes foul. Two-one count on to Lindsley. Bases are still loaded, 1 out. Two-one pitch. Ball just high. It's now 3-1. I thought that was going to be called a strike, but in favor of the Harbor Hawks.
Brady Lindsley with a hitter's count, 3-1 in the lefty-lefty matchup.
3-1 pitch. In for a strike right down the heart of the plate. Lindsley there could have taken that and roped it out of the yard.
Well, he had the take on, and you can't blame him. With bases loaded, nowhere to put him, that would have driven home the Harbor Hawks' first run.
The count is full, 3-2. Oh, pitch. Ball goes foul. Right behind the Whitecaps dugout. All the kids running out to get it. A lot of people starting to congregate out in the outfield. Here in Brewster, we didn't see at the start of the game.
I think it is a mini Chatham over there with the grassy knoll out in center field. You'll get more fans out there middle of the summer, as it's still a little bit chilly out here in Brewster.
Sure, it's definitely in Chatham as well. Both times we've been there, not a lot of people out in the outfield. 3-2 pitch. That is a ground ball that will get through the middle. 1 run scores. Another one right behind him. And the Harbor Hawks cut this lead now. Well, this deficit now to 1, as it is now 3-2. Brewster.
Both of those runs will be on the tab of Acuna, the starter. But a nice piece right there from Lindsley. The 2-strike account, Rob, the 2-strike approach. Rob, like Coach Gassman has told us early on the season, has worked wonders for Hyannis. Everyone in this league is sitting on a fastball. But if you're just defending the plate when you're up there with 2 strikes, good things are going to happen. You're going to have productive at-bats, and that's what you had right there for the Harbor Hawks. A productive 3-2 full count at bat, and Lindsley able to get a nice piece and drive it up the middle.
Pitch is a ball just in low. Matthew Barefoot up for the Harbor Hawks. Runner on first and the second, one out. Harbor Hawks now have cut down this lead to one. It's a 3-2 game.
And Barefoot, one of only 3 hitters to get a hit off of Acuna.
1-2 pitch, fouls it off, just sat behind that pitch. Knew it was going to be a breaking ball, but unable to get a good piece of it.
It's just the ideal situation for the Harbor Hawks right now. You're able to break into the Brewster lead 3-2 and then send up one of your best hitters, one of the best hitters in the Cape right now in Barefoot, as the momentum is swinging your way. This is a moment for Hyannis that they really need to capitalize on with only one out here too.
1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. That fastball was Barefoot. Now a 1-2 count.
The fastball, the pitch everybody wants out here on the Cape. Barefoot probably kicking himself for missing it.
One-two pitch. In just outside. Count now is at 2-2. Matthew Barefoot looked like he was ready to go back to the dugout.
That outside corner has been a favorable spot for the home plate umpire today, but still, Barefoot stays in it.
2-2 pitch. Sends it just foul. There, let's see if the wind brings it back in, and it does not as it lands just behind the Harbor Hawks dugout. But a great catch by a fan. They'll be able to keep that, a memory that will last a lifetime for them.
Absolutely, and no telling who any of these guys will become eventually. No idea what you'll get out of Miller or Barefoot for that matter. Murphy on the mound, excuse me.
You're mistaking him for Andrew Miller. Major League Baseball pitcher, 2-2 pitch.
Cape League legend as well.
Played in the Cape Cod League as well. Ball just goes foul. A lot of former Major League players, or current Major League players also, came out of this league. The best college league in the country by far.
Mm-hmm. MLB veteran Sean Casey once played first base here for the Brewster Whitecaps. Called him the mayor.
2-2 pitch. In strike 3 for the second out. Speaking of Sean Casey, he's on MLB Network.
Yes, he
Has
is.
a lot of fun on MLB Tonight and MLB Central and a lot of those other shows.
That's true, and that was just a big swing and a miss right there from Barefoot in a crucial moment for the Harbor Hawks with a runner in scoring position and a 1-run deficit. That was just one that hurts. You can't fault Barefoot because that was a nice pitch right there from the left-hander and Murphy, but still, Hyannis just sputtering at that opportunity there, and now they need Pedro Pages to come through.
Pedro Pages. Pitches in. Ball in low. Murphy struggling a little bit out of the pen after letting up those 2 runs that are not going to be charged to him. Able to get that strikeout by Barefoot.
No, but you have to give credit to Brady Lindsley for working a magnificent at-bat and then earning that 2 RBI hit.
Pitches in for a strike, just catches the inside part of the plate. Runs the count now at 1-1. 2 outs in the top of the 5th. It is 3-2 Brewster, but Hyannis has 5 hits. The Brewster's 2, but Hyannis does have those 2 errors, and the reason why that they're currently losing by 1.
That big home run from Canzone looming large over Hyannis right now. A 3-run blast in the bottom of the 2nd with 2 outs, no less.
1-1 pitch. Ball's in the dirt. Gets past the catcher. The runner did not advance. This page is great teamwork there, telling Como at second, do not go. So is Chad Gassman down there, the manager of the Harbor Hawks.
Brady Lindsley had to scurry his way back over to first. Got halfway up the base paths, kind of fell down as he noticed Como wasn't trying to move over to third base.
A lot of the third base coaches in this league are the managers. You only see a couple of teams that don't have their manager in there. That's a strike, runs the count now at 2-2. You really see that at the college level as well, not much at the professional level, though.
Absolutely. And that's kind of the opposite of what they do in Brewster here, as Jason Kanzler is the third base coach today for the Whitecaps, as the usual third base coach is actually in the hospital right now awaiting the birth of his first child.
Congratulations to him. 2-2 pitch. That hits out in the gap, and that will get down. This game is tied at 3-3. Another run might be coming home. The Harbor Hawks, for the first time today, are in the lead. It is now 4-3 in a great big inning here in the top of the fifth.
And what a piece from Pedro Pages. A 2-out double to drive in a pair of runs and put Hyannis out front 4-3 over the Whitecaps here at Stony Brook Field. Just Pages really coming up clutch for the Harbor Hawks. Again, we saw a big double from him yesterday, along with the 3-run home run. He is just in a zone right now, bringing his batting average up to 289 on the season with the hit.
Todd Lott now up, trying to get another RBI. Harbor Hawks trying to widen their lead now for the first time today, have a lead at 4-3. Pitches in just outside, has the catcher having to get out of his crouch approach. It's 6:23 here in Brewster, as we have to keep an eye on the time because there's no lights here in Brewster.
This is true. Darkness can really sneak up on you out here at Stony Brook Field.
1-0 pitch. In for a strike, just catches the inside part of the plate. That pitch, for the most part today, has been called a strike by the home plate umpire.
That corner has kind of wavered recently, though, as we saw a call go Matt Barefoot's way in his at-bat. Just over that outer half of the plate.
1-1 pitch. Just outside. It's now 2-1. The Brewster bench starting to get a little restless.
Well, it's just been that kind of an inning for them as they've watched a 3-run lead evaporate.
Now they're losing by 1. One-two pitch. Ball's in low. It's now runs the count at 3-1.
Pedro Pages distracting the pitcher Murphy on the mound with a little dance over at second base, kind of head faking as he bounces off the bag out there.
For Pages being a catcher, he is very fast. As we saw, I believe it was the first week of the season, him edging out a infield single. 3-1 pitch from Murphy. That ball goes foul. Now the count runs at 3-2.
I mean, Pages has what you call game speed. 6'1", 240 pounds. You don't expect him to really fly around the base paths, but game speed is you just crank it up into another level no matter how big or how small you are, and he really can get chugging when he smells a run or a first from third opportunity, because he, for a catcher, like you mentioned, has definitely a good amount of speed to him.
The count runs at 3-2. Pitches in. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 at that fastball right down the heart of the plate. Lott was probably expecting something off speed. The Harbor Hawks score 4 runs in this inning. They're able to take the lead 4-3. Brewster will be up in the bottom of the 5th. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Rob Marcello and Chris Lucy.
For the first time of the day, Houston Roth can jump back out on the mound with a lead in his back pocket. Hyannis leads 4-3 here as we now head into the bottom of the fifth inning in game number 15 on the Cape Cod League season. Hyannis in first place in the West with that 9-4-1, 19 points, a sparkling record for Hyannis, best on the Cape, where Brewster at 3-11-1 stumbles in on a 5-game losing skid with the worst record in the Cape, and they got off to a good start, a 3-0 lead off of a home run from Dominic Canzone in the bottom of the second, but in the previous frame, the top of the fifth inning, they watched that lead slip away as James Acuna put the bases loaded. His line ends 4 1/3 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, 4 hits, as the first pitch to Canzone up for his first ups for the since that 3-run home run in the bottom of the second. He swings through strike one as the righty Roth on the mound sets up and deals to the lefty at the plate. Ball 1 in the dirt.
Roth here trying to get 1, 2, 3, trying to get his guys back up as they has had a big inning last inning.
And Roth trying to get himself warm again, too, as he had a very long layoff. The 1-1. Called strike over the heart of the plate. 1-2 the count. Canzone playing his college baseball at Ohio State. He was second on the team in batting average this year, the 1-2. Caught on and roped foul down the left field line. Count remains 1-2.
Canzone ropes that ball foul. If that stayed fair, that had a chance to be out.
Definitely boasts a lot of power. We've seen him leave the yard already. Here's the 1-2 now from Roth. Missing low and away. Count now 2-2. Roth to the set again. The 2-2. Cut on, hit on the ground, and through the hole in the left side for a base hit. Canzone's second hit of the day. Starts things off well for the Whitecaps here in the bottom of the fifth. 1 man on, nobody down, and up comes Christian Molfetta, the catcher out of Stanford.
Canzone's really gotten the best of Roth today with his first at bat with a home run, and now a single right in between the shortstop and the third baseman.
A pair of hits and 3 RBIs for Canzone on the day. Christian Molfetta up at the plate now, trying to snatch the lead back for the Whitecaps, who are behind 4-3 after watching a 3-0 deficit for Hyannis ebb away completely in the top half of the inning with a big rally for the Hawks. And the righty deals to the righty. A first pitch cut on and fouled back. 0-1 the count to the backstop out of Stanford. Molfetta back for his 3rd season on the Cape. 2nd with Brewster. Snap throw back over to first. Canzone jumps back in. No tag applied. Brady Lindsley holding him on there. Infielders playing double play depth. Davis Wenzel creeping towards the infield grass. Outfielders playing way back on Molfetta, the 0-1. Cut on and a high fly down the right field line. That one's getting out of play in a hurry, and no chance for Colin Hall to make a play. The right fielder now jogs back to his setup in right field, and it's an 0-2 count on Molfetta. Christian was able to reach in his first at-bat. Still an offer, though. Got there on an E6. One of 2 errors on the inning for Alec Trella. The shortstop out of Memphis still, however, manning the spot up the middle. And now Roth to the set, the 0-2. Raking ball just misses for ball 1 over the outer half, dropping in what looked like a curve. Brings the count to a ball and a strike. Runner on first base is Canzone. Hyannis leads 4-3 here in the bottom of the 5th inning on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. The 1-2. Cut on and roped foul again down the right field line. 1-2 the count. Very sizable crowd here at Stony Brook Field, trying to watch their Whitecaps break a 5-game losing skid against the best team on the Cape. Hyannis coming in again, like I mentioned, 19 points tops on the entire island. The 1-2. Misses low and away for ball 2. Another off-speed offering from Roth brings the count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Molfetta, an alumnus of J. Serra High School out in Laguna Niguel, California. His old high school teammate Davis Wenzel playing third, the 2-2. Cut on and grounded over to short. Strella gloves it, throws on to second. Relay throw to first, and they get the 6-4-3 double play, and that's 2 quick outs right there for Houston Roth in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Nice job there by Roth, inducing that double play ball. They're really kind of getting him out of trouble. Now with 2 outs here, he can get this guy out. Finish up 5 innings.
That's Justin Ammons coming up to the plate. Center fielder out of Tennessee is 0 for 2 today with a pair of flyouts to center field. Here comes Coach Gassman, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks manager, stepping out onto the field. He points his right hand out to the bullpen over in right field, and that's going to be it for Houston Roth. So after getting the double play ball, Coach Gassman has seen enough, so he'll pull Houston Roth out of this game after 76 pitches, 54 of them strikes. So despite giving up the 3-run blast, Houston Roth has had a pretty good game for himself, and he'll step out of this one. But we'll come back with details on the new guy in the game when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Lyle Goldstein and Chris Lucy.
New pitcher out on the mound for Hyannis. Thank you for joining us again here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. I'm Chris Lucy. Robert Marcello actually over to my right now, and after 4 2/3 innings of 1 earned run baseball, 3 of 3 runs on the board, but still, Houston Roth is out of this game. He struck out 3, walked 1, and welcomes in Kyle Kemp. Kemp coming out of Lipscomb. He'll face off against another native of the state of Tennessee in Justin Ammons. Plays for the Vols over at Tennessee. He's 0 for 2 on the day with a pair of flyouts to center field. Kemp on to try and see Hyannis through the bottom of the 5th inning, already 2 down. Houston Roth getting Hyannis through those first 2/3 of the inning with a 6-4-3 double play on his last pitch. And the first pitch from Kemp is cut on and fouled off behind home. 0-1 the count. Kemp started the season with the Katua Cavaliers, was released from his contract there, and in 1 game for Hyannis, he has allowed no earned runs, only 1 hit, struck out a pair of batters as he throws a ball low and inside. 1-1 count, the righty on the mound, squaring up the lefty at the plate. Davis Wenzel now in on the grass at third. Middle infielder still playing back, the 1-1. Cut on and slicing foul down the left field line. 1-2 the count, so now Kyle Kemp. With a pitcher's count, 2 down in the bottom of the 5th inning. Hyannis out front 4-3. Wind blowing out at Stony Brook Field as the Harbor Hawks are looking to breeze through the Brewster Whitecaps and maintain their first place spot in the Western Division and secure their 6th consecutive win. The 1-2. Missing just low and inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the fastball from Kemp.
Kemp started walking off the mound like the inning was going to be over, but the home plate umpire thought otherwise.
Liked the pitch. Let's see if he can do it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Bases are clear. The pitch. Cut on and roped out to right field. This one chases Colin Hall back towards the wall, but the right fielder makes the play through the wind, and Hyannis is through 5 innings with a 4-3 lead over the Brewster Whitecaps here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. 1 hit, nobody left on base, though. That man doubled off, no runs, and now Hyannis heads to the top of the 6th inning, where they'll bring up the top of their order when we get back, or it'll be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, Eric Rivera, Alec Trella, and Colin Hall when we return on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
We're back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Alongside Robert Marcello, I'm Chris Lucy. Eric Rivera due up for Hyannis right now. He'll be followed up by Alex Trella and Colin Hall, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Harbor Hawks, who lead 4-3 here from Stony Brook Field in Brewster over the Whitecaps. Battle of the top and bottom of the Cape League right now. Hyannis coming in first place in the West. Best record on the Cape at 9-4-1. Brewster last in the East. Murphy back out on the mound, and his first pitch is a strike to the righty at the plate.
Go, Eric.
The lefty on the mound ahead 0-1 in the count. Now he comes to the set and fires. Misses high and outside. 1-1 now the count on Rivera.
Harbor Hawks now are trying to widen their lead from just 1 run to try to get it more.
The 1-1. And Eric takes a called strike over the outer half. 1-2 now the count. Rivera, today's left fielder out of Florida Atlantic University. Seen his way over 160 in this game. Still batting 161. The 1-2. Caught on and roped foul. That one going down the right field line and getting out of play. As Hyannis Harbor Hawks head coach Chad Gassman just takes the opportunity to run down to the third base coaching box. Was a little slow to get out of the dugout for some reason or another, but he's back out there now. Bobby Melly coaching down the first base line for Hyannis. And now the 1-2 from Murphy. Breaking ball for ball 2. Missing low and away. Even count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lefty at the University of San Diego puts his glove over his face. And now kicks and winds the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Rivera unable to get to that pitch there. Just by him.
No, a nice fastball right there off the hand of Murphy. 1 man down here in the top of the 6th inning. Now Alex Trella stepping up to the plate. He's 1 for 2.
From the University of Memphis, one of the Tigers, Alex Trella.
Trella at the right side now against the lefty. 1 down in the top of the 6th inning. Hyannis out front 4-3. The pitch. Ball 1, breaking pitch, looping about chest high, but missing the plate. 1-0 count. Outfielders playing pretty far back on Trella. He's got a good deal of power. The 1-0. Another breaking ball for a strike. A little bit lower with that one. Count now 1-1.
Trello's really settled down since those 2 mistakes early in the game.
He had 2 errors that set the table for a big inning for the Whitecaps in the bottom of the second as he takes ball 2 low and away. The first inning put a runner on. The first error, put a runner on. And considering how the rest of the inning went, if he hadn't had that error, it would have ended before a consequential at bat for Dominic Canzone, as Trello waves and misses at the 2-1 for strike 2. That at bat for Canzone ended up being a 3-run round tripper that put Hyannis down 3-0 for a good part of this game until the top of the 5th inning. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Trella goes down swinging for the second out of the inning, and after a 4 spot in the top of the 5th, the top of the 6th going pretty smoothly for the Whitecaps. Here's Colin Hall trying to break the string of strikeouts as there have been 2 to start things off in the top half of the 6th. Hyannis trying to pile a couple more runs on top of already a 4-3 lead over the Whitecaps and what's been a come-from-behind effort for Hyannis. The first pitch. The lefty throws a strike to the lefty. 0-1 the count. Colin Hall playing his college ball at Georgia Tech for his father. Here's the 0-1. Cut on, and that one grounded over to second base. Alejo forehands it, throws over to first, and Colin Hall speeding down the line. Can't beat out the 4-3 putout. So 1-2-3 go the Harbor Hawks in the top of the 6th inning. Nobody reaches, nobody scores. So the 4-3 lead for Hyannis stays intact, and the Brewster Whitecaps look to try and put themselves back over the top with Ray Alejo, Mike Massey, and Connor Gramis, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up for Brewster when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Hyannis out front 4-3 here from Stony Brook Field. Going into the bottom of the 6th inning, Ray Alejo, Mike Massey, and Hunter Bishop due up for the Whitecaps. Kyle Kemp back out, and the right deals a first pitch strike at chest level to the righty at the plate, Ray Alejo. He's 1 for 2 on the game. I'm Chris Lucy, Robert Marcello over to my right. The 0-1. Cut on and roped out down the left field line. That dinks in behind Davis Wenzel at third base for a base hit. Ray Alejo starts off the 6th with a single and brings up Mike Massey, the hottest hitter in Brewster, at least. Almost the hottest hitter in Cape Cod, but he's just a couple ticks behind Austin Shenton for the Cape League batting title right now.
I have a fun fact for you about Michael Massey.
Let's hear it.
His younger brother played baseball at the University of Concordia in Chicago, where my cousin currently plays.
Ah, that's actually his older brother who plays there.
Okay, it's his older brother. Okay.
Yes, his older brother actually just wrapped up his career there.
Okay.
Both
my
of them.
cousin played along with him as well, so they both graduated this year. Made a very good run in the tournament, and that's how I know Michael Massey.
Oh, well, there you go. Very cool. Ray Korn out on the mound to have a word with Kyle Kemp. Hyannis leading 4-3 here from Brewster, trying to not only build on a lead, or at least defend it in the bottom half of the frame here as Ray Corn comes off the mound and everyone starts retreating back to their positions, but also trying to build on a lead generally over the rest of the league as Hyannis comes in at 9-4-1, 19 points, the best record in Cape Cod to their billing right now. They were able to steal that mantle from the Wareham Gatemen last night in a convincing 9-1 beatdown down at McKeon Park. And now Massey steps up to the left-hand side of the plate. The righty Cal Kemp comes to the set, a runner on first and deals. The runner goes, and the ball is hit right back to Kemp, who just fields it and throws on to first as the runner Alejo advances to second. And Mike Massey executes the hit and run. Not quite what the Whitecaps were expecting out of one of the league's best hitters, but still brings a runner into scoring position with Hunter Bishop coming up to the plate, and Bishop boasts some serious power.
Whitecaps lucky there. They didn't get doubled off, but on that hit and run, Kemp didn't even think about going to second.
5 homers on the Pac-12 season for Hunter Bishop. He batted .250 for the Sun Devils down at Arizona State, and now Coach Gassman out of the Harbor Hawks dugout to make a move, and he sticks up his right hand going towards the bullpen, and that will be all for Kyle Kemp. We'll have the final line on Kemp in just a moment after the new pitcher comes in. We'll take a quick break to get everything squared away for you here on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Don't go anywhere. Hyannis still leads 4-3 with a big bopper coming up to the plate for the Whitecaps.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Back to Chad Gassman making all the right moves on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, I'm Chris Lucy, Robert Marcello's partner. After 2/3 of an inning and 1 hit, Kyle Kemp is gone. The runner on second base is his responsibility, but Brett Scholes is in the game to try and close things out here in the bottom of the 6th. The righty looks back to second before throwing to Hunter Bishop, throws the ball down and almost gets the runner, but tag applied and Alejo able to slide in just underneath it.
Close play there.
One
Bruce
down.
was lucky to get out of the inning. Still with a man on second.
That is true. Scholes with a good throw over to second. One down here at the bottom of the 6th. Bishop at the left side of the plate, the righty from Minnesota, comes to the set. Looks back that runner at second again and deals. Check swing and a called strike. Mike Beal ringing him up from behind home plate. 0-1 the count on Bishop. He's 0 for 1 on the day with another strikeout in the bottom of the third inning. Now Schultz comes to the set again. Runner takes a lead off second base. Hyannis leads 4-3. And the Minnesota Golden Gopher still looking back, and now the 0-1, which is cut on and chopped high in the air down the right field line. Colin Hall, the right fielder, coming in to make the play. He grabs the ball, tag up at second base, but the runner in Alejo decides to hold up after a rocket of a throw from Hall. And there's 2 away in the bottom of the 6th.
Number 12 for your Brewster Whitecaps. Making his home a couple of
And the numbers on Schultz aren't outstanding on the summer right now. 5 1/3 innings pitched, 5.06 ERA. He's been able to strike out 6, however, but still trying just to work that ERA down right now as Chris Wright comes up to the left side of the plate. Runner still on second base, 2 down. Hyannis defending a 4-3 lead here in Brewster against the Whitecaps. Schultz looks back, the runner at second and deals. Ball 1, high in sight. Chris Wright, 0 for 2 today. Today's first baseman out of Bryant University. Rhode Island native. That's where Bryant is located, and it's a very proud Rhode Islander, Chris Wright. Represented their Little League team in the Little League World Series in 2011. He grounds the 1-0 foul down the first base line and out of play.
Looked like that was going to stay fair than just get past Brady Lindsley over at first. But stayed foul.
And Brett Schultz breathes a sigh of relief on the mound for Hyannis. He has a razor-thin lead to protect here. The runner on second base, not his responsibility, but a 4-3 lead certainly is. He's trying to see Hyannis through to its 6th straight win. The 1-1. Ball 2, high in sight again. Fastball not spotting up for the Minnesota Golden Gopher. And the count runs 2 balls and a strike. Chris Wright, again, going back to his Little League days, actually had a crucial hit to get Rhode Island to reach that tournament, the 2-1. Cut on and grounded over to second base. Braden Como goes down to a knee to field the ball, throws on to first, and the side is retired in the bottom of the 6th inning, but not without a little bit of intrigue. 1 hit and 1 man left on base. Ray Alejo got himself all the way to second, but had to stay put there. And now we go to the top of the 7th inning, where Hyannis sends the top of the order to the plate. Davis Wenzel, Braden Como, and Brady Lindsley due up for the Harper Hawks when we return on the Hyannis Harper Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Rob Marcello and Chris Lucy.
Chris Lucy joining you here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Davis Wenzel up for Hyannis, who lead 4-3. And the first pitch from Murphy is a strike to Wenzel. Murphy back out for his now 3rd inning of work. The 0-1. Cut on and, or not cut on actually. Davis Wenzel able to hold up ball going low and away for ball one. Actually, the second inning of work for Murphy. He came in with one man down in the fifth, and now he's out here in the seventh, the 1-1. Called strike. Breaking ball going from the outer half of the plate to going in on the hands. The lefty ahead of the righty in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Murphy comes to the set, deals the 1-2. Called strike 3. Davis Wenzel backing up in the right-handed batter's box away from the pitch, but rung up by Mike Beal looking, and the backwards K drops him to 0 for 3 on the day here against the Whitecaps.
Second baseman, Brandon Como.
Brandon Como up to the plate for Hyannis now. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Strikeout, flew out to first base and had a hit and came around to score a run in a big top of the 5th inning for the Harbor Hawks that saw them snatch a 4-3 lead. And the first pitch the righty sees is smoked out to dead left field. That one backs up Brandon Wolf to the wall, and the left fielder loses it in the gray sky, and it dunks right in front of the wall. Braden Como coming around first, stops up at second, relay throw in to the shortstop Eden, and that is a 1-out double for Braden Como. Como up to 2 for 4 on the day here in the top of the 7th inning. Hyannis with a good chance here to break even further away from the Brewster Whitecaps. They lead 4-3, and now Brady Lindsley coming to the bat, and he is 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs on a single in the top of the 5th. That 2 RBI hit brought Hyannis within 1 run, and then another 2 RBI hit from Pedro Pages brought this to a 4-3 Hawks edge. As Murphy fires a first pitch ball low in sight. Lefty looking at the lefty at the plate. Como with a 2-step lead off of second, being held on by the shortstop. Now the 1-0. Called strike on the breaking pitch, inner half. 1-1 is the count on Brady Lindsley. Hyannis leads 4-3, trying to build on the best record in the Cape, the 1-1. Another breaking ball for a strike. 1-2 the count on Lindsley. Brady going into his junior year at Oklahoma, coming out of Keller High School down in Fort Worth, Texas. Batted .264 for the Sooners this year. Had 10 doubles. The 1-2. Ball 2, high in sight, a little fastball. As Lindsley adjusts his cap, mimes his front step. Trying to see Hyannis through a game that has seen the Harbor Hawks come back from a 3-0 deficit to take a 4-3 lead as time is called. Lindsley looping his bat through the zone one more time, touching the 3 corners of the plate, and making Murphy wait a little while before the 2-2 comes in. Here it goes. Another breaking ball. Misses low and inside. Count now 3-2. The wind is blowing out here at Stony Brook Field. A massive American flag out in right center field is just fluttering in the wind. And right below it, a Cape Cod championship banner for the 2017 ship the Whitecaps won last year. The 3-2 swung on and missed, strike 3. Murphy gets the second out of the inning by way of the K, and there's 2 down with a runner on second in the top of the 7th, and Matt Barefoot coming back to the plate for Hyannis. He's 1 for 3 today with a single and a pair of outs after that. That single coming in the top of the 2nd, and for a while was the only hit the Harbor Hawks were able to muster. But again, that big top of the 5th inning for Hyannis, the only blip on what's otherwise been a spotless game for the Whitecaps. We're trying to break a 5-game skid right now. The first pitch. The lefty fires a strike into the righty. Nice fastball over the heart of the plate at belt level. 0-1 the count. Braden Como leading off of second base again. Infield and outfield playing straight away. Outfielders a little bit further back than normal. The 0-1. Got on and hacked the other way, foul. Gets out of play and to the top of the hill just down the first base line. 0-2 now the count on Barefoot as he tries to stay alive. Hitting in the cleanup spot for the last 2 days after being the everyday leadoff man for the Harbor Hawks and for the Camels for pretty much all of his college season and most of the Cape League season too. The 0-2. Another one cut on in on the hands and sent foul down the right field line again. 0-2 the count. Barefoot known as much for his bat at Campbell as his ability to swipe bases. You see him in the on-deck circle looking at a pitcher. He's not just trying to get his swing down. He's trying to see what patterns he can pick up and see if he can steal on him as the 0-2 is cut on and crushed out to left field. This tracks Wolf back to the wall, and it gets off the wall and is a base hit. Braden Como comes around third to score. Cruising into second base is Barefoot with his second hit of the day, and that stakes the Harbor Hawks out to a 5-3 lead over the Whitecaps with 2 down in the top of the 7th inning. A pair of doubles, all the Harbor Hawks needed in the top of the 7th to stake their lead to 2 runs, getting some insurance for Houston Roth, who's on the line for the win. Pedro Page is now coming up to the plate. He's 1 for 2 with a walk and an RBI double. Drove in 2 of 5 runs for the Harbor Hawks today. The catcher digs in at the right side of the plate. Matt Barefoot taking a big lead off of second base. Now the entire infield has to be alert. And the pitch cut on and hacked the other way down the right field line. That dinks in front of Canzone for a base hit. Relay throw comes in, but Barefoot will score easily, and that's an RBI single for Pedro Pages, who stops up at first. And the Hawks lead 6-3 on a little 2-out rally here in the top of the 7th inning.
Wearing number 29, the TH. From Louisiana Lafayette.
Third RBI of the game for Pages, who advances himself to 2 for 3 on the day. He has had a scorching 2 games in the past 2 appearances for the Harbor Hawks. Had a 3-run homer and a double last night in a 2 for 4 game. Brings up Todd Lott with all the momentum going Hyannis' way in the top of the 7th inning from Stony Brook Field. As the first pitch is a fastball high and outside for ball 1. The lefty, Murphy, squaring up the righty at the plate, Todd Lott. This inning unraveling the game for the Whitecaps. Murphy to the set, the 1-0. Check swing. And the home plate umpire says that Lott held up, and the fastball brings this count to 2-0. A little bit high on Lott. Lott has a sizable strike zone, comes in around 6'4". 220 pounds as well, the 2-0. And the ball gets away from the catcher, Molfetta. Pedro Pages, though, stays up at first base, not trying to advance, as Molfetta able to get back on top of the pitch easy. Count now 3-0 on Todd Lott, who more likely than not has the take on all the way, as a right-hander starts getting loose for the Whitecaps out in their bullpen in left field. The 3-0. Get me over fastball for strike 1. 3-1 the count. Wind still blowing out here, White House Field, and Todd Lott with 3 home runs on the summer already with some big-time power. He's 1 for 2 today, hit by a pitch, a single, and a strikeout. As the 3-1 is cut on and fouled off just behind home plate. Count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pedro Pages sits on first base with an RBI single. Drove in 1 of 2 runs for the Harbor Hawks in this frame. Matt Barefoot driving in the other one. Braden Como reaching and scoring with a 1-out double. Barefoot scoring the first run of the inning with a 2-out double. And now the 3-2 to Todd Lott. Here's the pitch. Runner goes, and it's ball 4. An off-speed pitch for Murphy, completely missing. And that puts runners on first and second, 2 away in the top of the 7th. And this inning starting to get out of hand for the Brewster Whitecaps as Eric Rivera steps up to the plate. The left fielder still looking for his first hit on the day. Ended the 4th inning with a fielder's choice. Otherwise, has flown out to second and struck out. Steps to the right-hand side of the plate. The lefty deals a breaking ball for a ball high and away. 1-0 the count. Todd Lott reached with the walk. Pages with the single. And now Rivera looking to drive either one, if not both of them, home. Build on a 6-3 Harbor Hawks lead as the 1-0 is ball 2, low and inside. Rivera's Florida Atlantic teammate Pedro Pages taking a 2-step lead off of second base. The two not roommates, but ball players at Florida Atlantic living generally pretty close together. Same neighborhood where a bunch of ball players rent a house. The 2-0. Called a strike. 2-1. They don't room together at Florida Atlantic, and they don't room together out here on the Cape either. So a good bit of separation for the two ball players. Spent plenty of time together with the Owls that made a regional this year, the 2-1. Way inside for ball 3. The righty out in left field just can't get warmed up fast enough in the bullpen for the Whitecaps, as one more ball off the hand of Murphy will load the bases. Eric Rivera with a hitter's count, 3-1. Runners on first and second. Hyannis out front, 6-3. And the 3-1 is ball 4, low and away, and Eric Rivera loads the bases for Hyannis. And still nothing from Jamie Shevchik, who's just waiting on the top step of the Whitecaps dugout. And now we see some motion. Out comes Shevchik. He shakes his right hand at the home plate umpire, Mike Beal, and it looks like this is all we'll be seeing from Murphy today. And yes, it is. The second base umpire, Dave Perry, puts his hand up in the air, requesting the man out of the bullpen, and that's all she wrote for Murphy. The final line on him, and a little bit on the new pitcher when we get back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. 2 runs for the Harbor Hawks so far through 2/3 of the top of the 7th inning, has the Harbor Hawks sitting pretty 6-3 the lead over the Whitecaps on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Chris Lucy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a pinch hitter wearing number
That's all for
18,
Chris Murphy.
Gray.
Out to the mound now for the Whitecaps to pick things back up here with 2 down in the top of the 7th inning is Jeff Criswell out of Michigan. He comes up in a less than ideal situation. Seth Gray at the plate, pinch hitting for Alec Trella, and the bases are jammed. Nowhere to put Seth Gray, who's one of the most lethal hitters on the Harbor Hawks squad. The first pitch, high and tight fastball. The righty dealing to the lefty at the plate. Down in the count, 1-0. Harbor Hawks putting an additional 2 runs on the board here in the top of the 7th, jumping out to a 6-3 edge over the Whitecaps at Stony Brook Field. The 1-0. Cut on, and that one is topped off, grounded over to short. That one picked up and fired across the diamond by the shortstop, Eden, for a quick out number 3.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
So here's your hat. Where's your hurry? Jeff Criswell barely got to know you, and one pitch he gets, or 2 pitches, he gets the out and sees Brewster through what was a stormy inning. They gave up 2 runs on 1 hit, or excuse me, they gave up 2 runs on 3 hits, stranded 3 men on base off of 2 walks, as well as a single that's left on base as well. And now we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, where Cameron Eden, Brandon Wolf, and Dominic Canzone are due up for the Whitecaps. The 6, 7, and 8 men for Brewster when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Chris Lucy.
Back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, several defensive changes to bring up here as we start things off in the bottom of the 7th inning. Brett Scholl's still on the mound for the Harbor Hawks, but Pedro Page is out of the game. Kyle Wilkie replacing him at the backstop, and Alec Trella was pinch hit for in the previous frame by Seth Gray. Gray now mans the bag over at third base, and Davis Wenzel just makes the shift over a couple feet to shortstop, where he'll be for the rest of the game, most likely. Prefers shortstop, gets to run around a little bit more, and Davis has a fair share, has a good bit of energy, so works out well enough for him. Harbor Hawks lead 6-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Cameron Eden leading things off for the Whitecaps. Squares around for a bunt and lays a beauty down right in front of Scholes, who comes off the mound, throws over to Brady Lindsley to get out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out for the righty out of Minnesota. And now here comes Brandon Wolf.
Number 46 from Stanford
0 for 2 on the day with a pair of swinging strikeouts.
Left fielder, Brandon Wolf.
Wolf playing his college baseball over at Stanford. One of 2 Cardinals on this ball club. He takes a first pitch ball low and away. The righty ahead 1-0 on the count against the righty Scholes. Now the 1-0 pitch. Called strike. 1-1 the count on the breaking ball from Scholes. Wolf, a native of Las Vegas, Nevada, went to the prestigious Bishop Gorman High School, the 1-1, cut on and fouled off his front foot. Wearing a protector over there, so he's all right. 1-2 the count. Bishop Gorman, of course, the high school of possible Ohio State starting quarterback Tate Martell, also famously Calvin Bradeau, son of Snoop Dogg, the 1-2. Cut on and missed for strike 3. Brandon Wolf puts on the golden sombrero, a trio of strikeouts, and that brings 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Dominic Canzone stepping up to the plate. He's about as hot as you can get. A pair of hits, a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 2nd, and a single in the bottom of the 4th. Looking for a double and a triple to complete the cycle, but running out of time. Takes a first pitch strike from the righty as he stutter steps at the left-hand side of the plate. Wind blowing out, infielders, outfielders playing straight away. Here's the 0-1. Fastball, check swing, and it's ball 1 high and outside. 1-1 the count. Canzone has had a decorated career at Ohio State. The 1-1. Ball 2, breaking ball low and away, missing. Not only was second team All Big Ten this year, but was 2017 All Freshman Big Ten. Led Ohio State in batting average as a freshman, which was 5th in the Big Ten his freshman year. And the next pitch is clubbed on and sent up the middle. Davis Wenzel, the shortstop, coming all the way into no man's land to field the ball, but he eats it, and Canzone works his 3rd hit of the game with 2 down in the bottom of the 7th. He stands on first base. Christian Molfetta due up for the Whitecaps. And he'll come up. Looked as though there was some stirring at the top step of the Brewster dugout, but Molfetta will get his next ups of the game, his 3rd appearance at the plate. He's 0 for 2, reached on an error in the bottom of the 2nd, and grounded into a 6-4-3 double play in the bottom of the 5th. He strides up to the right side of the plate. Runner on first base is his teammate Dominic Canzone. Today's right fielder out of Ohio State reached with a 2-out knock up the middle. Davis Wenzel showing some impressive range, getting all the way to that ball from straightaway shortstop. The first pitch. Cut on and grounded foul down the 3rd base line. So the righty on the mound jumps ahead in the count 0-1 on the righty standing at home. An overcast day here in Brewster. Not how it started. The sun was shining. Everything was looking great, but midway through this game, the clouds kind of descended on the Whitecaps home ballpark, and seems as though that just fits the narrative of this game, as things were looking good for Brewster through the first 3 innings. They were ahead 3-0, but bringing it through the 4th, everything's good, and top of the 5th, it all fell apart as the 0-1 is chopped on and sent high and foul down the right field line out of play. 0-1 now the count. It's a 6-3 Harbor Hawks lead, but it all started in the top of the 5th, where Hyannis was able to plate 4 runs on the Whitecaps. Brewster's been dead silent since that very loud bottom of the 2nd inning. And in the meantime, Hyannis able to plate 2 more runs in the top of this frame. And now an 0-2 count on Molfetta as Scholes loops a check throw over to first base. Dominic Canzone scurries back in. Tag not applied by Lindsley. He just throws it right back to Scholes on the mound. 0-2 the count on Molfetta. The righty comes to the set, taking his time as he gets the high and away target from Wilkie and misses it even higher and more away than the target originally implied. Fastball brings the count to a ball and 2 strikes. Joel's to the set again, the 1-2. Cut on and sent the other way, foul. 1-2 remains the count, and it's been a deceptive day for Molfetta in that he's had 2 at-bats, and he's 0 for 2, but he really has worked Hyannis pitchers in those 2 at-bats. Both of them ended up 2-strike counts, but in the previous 2, he was able to work his at-bats to full counts, and now he's fouled off several 2-strike pitches. So the 2-strike approach working well for him, keeping him in this. As now Scholes just tries to slam the door on him and bring this to the top of the 8th inning. Counts 1-2. Here's the pitch. Misses high and outside. Ball 2. Another fastball failing to spot up. Fan presence hasn't dwindled here at Stony Brook Field, despite Hyannis jumping out to a 3-run lead. Top of the 7th, another big one for Harbor Hawks fans. 6-3 the lead for Hyannis as the 2-2 is jumped on and crushed out to right field, but it'll hang up in the air long enough for the right fielder Colin Hall to settle underneath it and make the grab for the final out of the inning. So a 2-out hit is squandered. 1 man left on base. It's the only hit. And Hyannis comes up for the top of the 8th inning after a quick break. Colin Hall, Davis Wenzel, and Braden Como due up for Hyannis. When we return on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, the Hawks lead 6-3 from Stony Brook Field in Brewster.
MusicElf.com.
Oh, yeah, do. It's something.
MusicElf.com.
Literally just play her rejoin and then just like play it now, yeah.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We'll bring you back to the booth, but first, it's down to the sidelines with Danny Terzer.
Well, guys, we saw Hyannis make quite a statement yesterday at home. They got some revenge on Wareham, who they got shut out to on the road. They gave it right back to them yesterday at home. That moved them to a 5-game winning streak, first in the Western Division. So I approached Bobby Melly, the first base coach, and asked him how the team can continue to build on the success they've been having. He said the moment you start to worry or doubt is the moment that the team starts to go downhill.
Thank you so much, Danny. Hyannis Harbor Hawks out front 6-3 here in Brewster. The Whitecaps jumping out to a 3-0 lead early, but the Harbor Hawks clawing back in a big way in the 5th inning, putting up a 4-spot, another 2-spot in their previous trip to the plate. Brought this to a 6-run game for Hyannis, and since that big bottom of the 3rd, Rob, the Whitecaps have just gone completely silent.
They sure have really not been able to get anything going at the plate. And also, pitching hasn't been very good these past couple of innings either.
It has not. Back out to the mound is Criswell, Jeff Criswell out of Michigan. Only pitched a 1/3 of an inning in the previous frame. Was just brought on to get the final out of the top of the 7th inning. And now the top of the 8th coming for Hyannis. Colin Hall starting things off for the Harbor Hawks from the 9th spot. He's still looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Came around to score on that walk, though. 1 of 4 runs for the Harbor Hawks in the top of the 5th. He steps up to the left-hand side of the plate, and the righty Criswell looks him down. The Michigan Wolverines stepping up to the rubber. Davis Wenzel waiting on deck. Here's the first pitch from the windup. Ball 1, fastball high in sight. Hall has to lean away from that one, and the count goes to 1-0. Hyannis sporting the best record in the Cape, trying to keep it that way tonight. The 1-0. Swing and a miss at another fastball. 1-1 the count. Brewster, meanwhile, mired in a 5-game losing streak. Looked as though early on they would be able to fight their way out of it tonight, but starting to look bleak. The 1-1. Ball 2, missing low and away. Little breaking pitch, missing the zone. Count now 2-1. And that is just a very deflating way to lose an edge in a game, is that big 4 spot they let up in the 5th. The 2-1 is fouled back. Count now 2-2 as they lose a slugfest last night, the Whitecaps, a 10-9 loss to the Bourne Braves, in which the Whitecaps gave up 4 home runs.
Yeah, it's any time you get in a slugfest like that, a scoring fest, losing is always difficult.
Especially when it's for your 5th straight loss. As now the 2-2 comes to Hall. Ball 3 at belt level and tight. Loads the count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Second straight full count Hall has worked. And now Criswell to the set again. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The ball squirts away from Molfetta from behind home plate. The backstop comes up, throws the ball down to first, and they get the strikeout and the 2-3 putout for out number 1 in the top of the 8th.
Here we go, folks. Top of the batting order for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
Davis Wenzel coming to the plate for Hyannis now as the lineup turns over again for the Harbor Hawks. Wenzel also in search of his first hit as Colin Hall goes down 0-3, and Davis Wenzel already in an 0-for-3 hole with a walk in the 3rd. And the righty deals him ball 1 high in sight. Wenzel's at the right side of the plate. Made the shift from 3rd to short in the previous inning. Wenzel leading things off for the Harbor Hawks today. Not really his ideal spot in the lineup. The 1-0. Misses high and outside for ball 2. Breaking pitch. Not quite spotting up for Criswell. One of several Big Ten products on the field today. The 2-0. High and outside for ball 3 with the fastball. A huge Big Ten rivalry going on between the man of the mound and the right fielder, Dominic Canzone. Of course, Michigan and Ohio State known as fierce rivals throughout all of college baseball and college football, for that matter, as the 3-0 is called ball 4 on a fastball high and outside. So a 1-out walk for Davis Wenzel brings Braden Como up to the plate. Today's second baseman out of Rice University having a stellar day, 2 for 4, scored 2 runs on a single and a double. One man down here in the top of the 8th inning. Hyannis out front 6-3. Braden Como trying to build on that with Davis Wenzel taking a 2-step lead off of first base. Held on by Chris Wright. Wind still blowing out a little bit here from Brewster. The flag's out in right center field, still fluttering as ball 1 comes high and outside on a fastball from Criswell. Criswell looks back over at the runner in first. Hyannis out front by 3 runs, 6-3 from Stony Brook Field. The 1-0 called strike high and outside. Como picking a great night to have his parents out at the ballpark. They came out for a stretch of baseball that has really been excellent for him. 2 for 4 on the day. Played well last night as well. Able to pick up 2 hits before being pinch hit for. And the 1-1 is cut on and grounded over to second base. Second baseman throws onto the shortstop for the first out at second, and then they turn 2 on the 4-6-3 double play. So Braden Como drops down to 2 for 5 on the day, and Hyannis leaves nobody on base, gets no hits. They're able to secure a walk, but don't score any runs as the Harbor Hawks now go into the bottom of the 8th inning and will have to defend a 6-3 lead against the top of the order for the Brewster Whitecaps. Justin Ammons, Ray Alejo, and Mike Massey do up for the Whitecaps when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Network Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's Voices of the Hawks with Rob Marcello and Chris Lucy.
Justin Ammons coming up for the Brewster Whitecaps as they send the top of the order to the plate here in the bottom of the 8th inning, trying to claw away at a 6-3 Harbor Hawks lead from Stony Brook Field. Brett Scholl's back out for another inning of work. And the pitch. Fastball high and outside. Ball 1 as the righty gets behind in the count 1-0 to the lefty. Scholl's working quickly. And the next pitch is a ball low and away as Ammons squares around for a bunt. Center fielder out of Tennessee, another recent addition for the Brewster Whitecaps, who have experienced a lot of turnover in their lineup over the last couple of days as they're just trying to fight their way out of the cellar here in the Cape. As the 2-0 is missed high and outside for ball 3. Ammons, one of 3 balls on the Whitecaps alone. Zach Lingenfelter, another. The 3-0. And they miss for ball 4, or Schultz misses. And that is a walk for Ammons. He leads off the bottom of the 8th with a free pass and then brings up Ray Alejo.
He wears number 22 for your Whitecaps.
The second baseman today out of the University of Central Florida is 2 for 3 with a pair of base knocks. Scott Stealing in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Comes up with a runner on first base. His Whitecaps trailing 6-3. The pitch. Called strike right down Broadway with the fastball. And that brings Scholl's ahead in the count 0-1. Scholl's to the set again. Ammons with the lead off of first. And the 0-1 is cut on, fouled back behind home. Kyle Wilkie gets a fresh burrow from the home plate umpire Mike Beal, throws it back out to Scholl's, and they're ahead in the count 0-2.
Harbor Hawks trying to get out of this inning still with a 3-run lead.
Infielders playing straight away. Only one non is Brady Lindsley holding on the runner at first, as the 0-2 is high and outside, and it gets away from the catcher Wilkie out of his glove. Justin Ammons runs over to second base. He'll get there. A passed ball on Wilkie as he advances. So another situation now for Schultz. He has to adjust. A runner now on second base, still defending a 3-run lead, so nothing too drastically different, but he'll still call Wilkie up to the mound to have a word. Alejo playing his ball at Central Florida, one of several stops he's made in his college career. Started it off at Ole Miss, played in 16 games in 2016. Didn't really like it too much, though, as he transferred to Northwest Florida State. And the 1-2 is low and away for ball 2. After a year at the junior college, he transferred to the University of Central Florida and has been outstanding since then. Stole 34 bases on 39 attempts for Central Florida and batted .299. The 2-2. Cut on and sent the other way. That one just gets over the head of the second baseman Como and goes into right field for a base hit. Justin Ammons turns around third base, but he stops up there, and the cutoff throw enables Alejo to chug his way all the way to second base as he will get a single and an advance on the throw. So runners on second and third now for the Brewster Whitecaps, and the hottest man on the Whitecaps coming up to the plate in Michael Massey. He has just been scorching Cape League competition this year, Robert. Second in the league in hitting and up in a huge spot for the Whitecaps as now this game has, in the blink of an eye, gotten a bit closer. A 6-3 lead for Hyannis, but 2 runners in scoring position and a very lethal hitter at the left side of the plate as the righty throws the pitch, and it is cut high in the air out to right field. Colin Hall, the right fielder, gets underneath it, and they'll just let the runner Ammons come home to score. The throw coming in from Hall going to third, and it comes just behind Ray Alejo, who slides in safely underneath the tag.
Massey there putting the ball on the outfield there. Off the bat, I knew it was going to be out because it was kind of a short fly ball, but the wind continued to carry it. Unable to get the runner at home as he just threw over to third thinking he could get him out.
I mean, it's a smart play to try and go for the runner at third because it's just a much easier throw, and Hall not with a world beater of an arm. As now Hunter Bishop, comes back to the left side of the plate. Takes a first pitch ball low and inside. Bishop's 0 for 2. He struck out and flew out to right field. Hit 5 home runs for the Arizona State Sun Devils this year, so he has some power potential, and Brewster was able just to draw within 2 runs on the sacrifice fly from Mike Massey. It's now 6-4 Hyannis. So the Harbor Hawks still with a lead, but the Whitecaps still with plenty of time to close in on Hyannis. 1-1 now the count to Bishop. Here's the pitch. Ball 2, breaking ball, floating in low and a little bit too close. 1 runner on now. It's Ray Alejo. He advanced over to third as the sacrifice fly enabled Ammons to come home and score, and Alejo tagged up from second. He got on there with a single, and the 2-1 is cut on and grounded over to the second baseman, Como. A run comes in to score, but Como goes over to second to get the easy one. And the Whitecaps are within a run. It's 6-5 here in the bottom of the 8th inning with 2 down, and Chris Wright coming to the plate.
Things could be really a lot worse in this inning, getting those 2 outs there, only being up by 1 run. But it could be a lot worse. They could be losing.
Absolutely. Now Chris Wright comes up to try and flip the script for the Whitecaps. Bases are clear, though, now. And in the left-hand batter's box, he takes ball 1 high and away. Wright's 0 for 3 on the day. And Scholes is working quickly from the windup. The 1-0 cut on and roped high in the air out towards center field. This one's chasing barefoot over towards the gap in left center. It dunks right in front of him for a base hit. And that is a 2-out knock for Chris Wright, his first hit of the day. And the Whitecaps are still in business after scoring 2 runs here in the bottom of the 8th. And they're within a run of Hyannis, who leads 6-5. And Chris Wright keeping the rally alive for the Whitecaps as now Chad Gassman comes out of the dugout for the Harbor Hawks. The Harbor Hawks skipper points out to the bullpen in right field, and it looks like that will be all she wrote for Brett Scholes. They haven't taken the ball away yet, but in comes Dylan Thomas from the bullpen, so he'll need a couple of pitches to get warmed up. While we here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network get you the final line on Scholes and get everything straightened away here. Hyannis clinging on to a 6-5 lead here from Brewster as Brett Scholes leaves the game, and in comes Dylan Thomas. We'll take a quick pause here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Don't go anywhere.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network after 2 1/3 innings pitch for Brett Schultz. His afternoon is done. The runner on first is his responsibility. And enter Dylan Thomas out of the University of Hawaii. Deals a first pitch ball to Cameron Eden, the righty at the mound, behind 1-0 from the righty at the plate. Hyannis clinging on to a 1-run lead here in Brewster. The 1-0. Wave and a miss, and that evens the count at a ball and a strike.
Good pitch there by Thomas, getting him off speed.
He has some dastardly breaking stuff, and Cameron Eden is 0 for 2 on the day. He's worked a walk. The 1-1. Check swing, and Mike Beal rings him up. So 1-2 now on today's shortstop. And Dylan Thomas is 1 strike away from ending a 2-run rally for the Whitecaps here at the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's the 1-2. Check swing. Did he go? They look down first base, and Dave Perry rings him up for strike 3. Tag applied by Kyle Wilkie after he dropped the ball briefly. But that is the bottom of the 8th inning. And what an inning it was for the Whitecaps. They draw within 1 run on a pair of hits, a sacrifice fly, and a walk. And now we go to the top of the 9th inning where Hyannis will try and edge their way back out front a little bit more with the heart of its order. Brady Lindsley, Matt Barefoot, and Pedro Pages due up to come to the plate when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Don't go anywhere.
Magic Works Media copyright. Back to Chad Gassman making all the right moves on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, I'm Chris Lucy, Robert Marcello, my broadcast partner. It's getting late early out here, Rob. We just saw a conference at home plate, and because there's no lights over Brewster's Stony Brook field, it looked as though Gassman, the umpires, and then the Whitecaps manager, Jamie Shevchik, were about to call this thing off, but after a little deliberation over down the third base line, everyone dispersed, and now Brady Lindsley's coming up to the plate, and it looks like we're going to try and fit the 9th inning here.
Absolutely. I think with the game being so close, I don't think there's any reason why now we can't fit in the 9th inning.
Especially with Brewster trying to break a 5-game losing streak and Hyannis trying to extend a 6-game winning streak in every way they can. And now Jeff Criswell back out for another inning of work. He squares up Brady Lindsley, and the righty deals to the lefty. Strike 1, swinging at some high heat. Again, Harbor Hawks with a very slight edge here, a 6-5 one after surrendering 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Criswell to the set again. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss at strike 2. More fast stuff from the righty out of Michigan. And Lindsley has to defend the plate. And this really, Rob, unfortunately for the Whitecaps, is just following the script that the last couple of games have had for them, the 0-2. Cut on and grounded over to second base. The second baseman, Alejo, fields on 1 hop, forehand side, throws across, and gets Lindsley for out number 1 here in the top of the 9th. And
Harbor Hawks are trying to widen their lead from just being up 1 to getting it more. And as the sun goes down and it starts getting a little darker here, maybe they can put up a couple more runs, kind of steal the deal.
Well, if they did, it almost seemed as if they're maybe doing a favor for the morale of the Whitecaps, who lost their 5th straight last night, also by a run. So another razor-thin margin would really just be a tough pill to swallow, as ball 1 is thrown low and away to Matt Barefoot. Criswell missing low and away. Be a very bitter pill to swallow for the Whitecaps as they lost a 10-9 decision against the Bourne Braves last night, the 1-0. Swing and a miss at some fastball. A little bit of quick stuff right there going across the outer half of the plate. 1-1 now the count, one down in the top of the ninth inning. Hyannis with an edge pretty much in everything on the scoreboard right now, the 1-1. Check swing called strike. Criswell going exclusively fastball here, and now Barefoot has to defend the plate. What I mean by that, Hyannis, of course, leading 6-5, have a one-hit edge, 8-7, and then also a one-error edge, too. 2 errors as the 1-2 is cut on and served up the middle through for a base hit. Matt Barefoot rounds first base and stops up there as the relay throw comes in from Ammons in center, and it's a one-out hit for the outfielder from Campbell University.
And now to plate, the catcher, Kyle Wilkie.
Kyle Wilkie coming to the Harbor Hawks now. He's the defensive replacement for Pedro Pages. This will be the first ups of the game for Kyle Wilkie. Steps to the plate with a runner on first in Campbell. In Barefoot, excuse me. He plays at Campbell. Kyle Wilkie at the right side. And the first pitch. Misses low and away for ball 1. 1-0 the count on Wilkie. He's batting .300 on the Cape League season. 8 games for him, 20 at-bats, 6 hits. And the 1-0, runner goes, throw down, and Barefoot slides in front of the tag and throw, and that's a stolen base for Matt Barefoot. So with one man down here in the top of the 9th inning, Hyannis has a runner in scoring position and a chance to build on a 6-5 lead over the Brewster Whitecaps.
Great job there by Barefoot. Enough speed to be able to get there.
And slide in under that tag as well. Now Criswell sets in, fires the 1-1. High heat, swing and a miss from Wilkie. 1-2 the count. Wilkie, with 2 RBI on the season, has a chance to maybe drive in his third if he can get a hold of something here. He'll have to catch up to the fastball of Criswell. Righty looks back, the runner at second and deals. And the 1-2 is low and away, and it gets away from Christian Molfetta, the catcher, and Matt Barefoot scurries over to third base on the pass ball. So a 2-2 count now, and a runner on third base. You were saying, Robert?
A big pass ball there now, even with a single right up the middle, be able to easily score a run. And if the infield's playing in.
Matt Barefoot creeping off of third base. 90 feet away from the Harbor Hawks' 7th run of the game. They lead 6-5, and the 2-2 to Wilkie. Cut on and shot foul behind home. 2-2 the count. Wilkie, a native of the state of Georgia, elected to leave Georgia to go play his college ball at Clemson, where they hosted a regional this year. Unable to work their way out of that regional were the Tigers, the 2-2. Cut on and sent high and foul out of play down the first base line. Growing up in the state of Georgia, though, plenty of incredible baseball players out there. And that's the same thing with this league, is you just end up knowing people. And Colin Hall, teammate on the Harbor Hawks for Wilkie, as the 2-2 is hacked on and missed for strike 3. It was actually somebody that played high school and also travel ball against Wilkie during their childhood.
A fun coincidence that those two get to see each other again.
And be on the same team for a change, as Wilkie now heads back to the Harbor Hawks dugout. His punch out, the second out of the inning, and it brings up Todd Lott with 2 down in the top of the 9th inning. Matt Barefoot still creeping off of third base. Reached with a 1-out hit, advanced on a steal and a passed ball. Lott at the right side. And the pitch. Ball 1, low and away from the righty Criswell. Infield, outfield, playing back. Playing true to the power of Todd Lott. 3 homers on the Cape League, the 2-0. Cut on and sent foul behind home. 2-1 the count. Overcast skies here from Brewster, Massachusetts. The wind is still blowing out, but it's starting to dip into the low to mid 60s after this game started off in the low 70s and was a beautiful sunny day. The 2-1. Ball 3 low and away on the breaking pitch from the Michigan Wolverine. Ragin' Cajun standing at the plate. It's a one-run game here from Brewster. The Harbor Hawks trying to string along their 6th straight win, and the Whitecaps trying to avoid their 5th straight loss. And time is called. And I said 5th straight loss. They actually lost 5 in a row, so they will be trying to avoid their 6th straight loss, the Brewster Whitecaps. 3-1. Ball 4 low and away on the fastball from Criswell. The walk to Todd Lott puts runners on the corners with 2 down and brings up Eric Rivera.
We're number 1 for the foul for the
Rivera still looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 3 with a walk.
Eric Rivera.
Stepping up to the right side of the plate with runners on the corners. And a chance again to extend the lead for Hyannis. It's about as close as it can get from Brewster. A 6-5 edge for Hyannis. Todd Lott with a small lead off of first. Barefoot taking lead off of third. And the first pitch is a high fastball outside. Draws a throw from Molfetta behind home plate, but Todd Lott slides in behind the throw down at first. 1-0 now the count to Rivera. Starting to get dark out here at Stony Brook Field. They were contemplating whether or not to play the 9th, as the 1-0 is a called strike on a fastball, and they have Todd Lott caught in a pickle as Barefoot comes in to score, but the run won't count, as that will actually be a run scored, as Barefoot came in before Todd Lott was tagged out at second base as he stumbled on the double steal. So that's a 7-5 edge for the Harbor Hawks here from Brewster, as now Dylan Thomas comes back out to the mound for the Harbor Hawks to try and lock down a 7-5 win, the 6th straight for Hyannis, when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Now pitch hitting, ladies and gentlemen, Austin Lively.
Back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network for the bottom of the 9th here from Brewster, Massachusetts. Alongside Robert Marcello, I'm Chris Lucy. Dylan Thomas out for his 2nd inning of work. He deals a first pitch ball low and inside to start off his confrontation. Pinch hitter at the plate right now for the Brewster Whitecaps. And the 1-0 is a called strike. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. Austin Lively at the plate for the Brewster Whitecaps, the 1-1. And that is strike 2, right at the numbers. Lively batting .233 on the season out of Seattle U. The 1-2. Cut on and grounded over to third. Gets to Seth Gray on a couple of hops and The third baseman from Wright State throws across the diamond to get the first out of the bottom of the 9th inning.
That coming very slowly into Seth Gray there, having to make a very good throw. Great job by Seth Gray.
Seth Gray has an absolute cannon of an arm over at the hot corner, and he's looked very comfortable over there for the Harbor Hawks. As Dominic Canzone comes back to the plate. He's got 3 hits on the day, one of them a 3-run home run, and he cuts and sends the first pitch foul down the third base line out of play. 0-1 the count on the Ohio State Buckeye as the Hawaii Rainbow Warrior peers at him from behind a black glove and deals. Fastball high in sight for ball 1. 1-1 the count. They're playing to the pull of Canzone as Lindsley is playing down the first base line, and the 1-1 is a bouncer right in front of Canzone who jumps out of the way. And it looks like he actually had a full swing through, so that's a 1-2 count on Canzone. The 1-2. Cut on and miss, strike 3.
Great pitch there by Thomas, getting him to swing at that high pitch.
That was a slider from Thomas, a very slight motion on that slider. And now Hyannis is within 1 out of its 6th straight win. And now we'll have another pinch hitter at the plate. Joseph Donovan coming to the dish, another Michigan Wolverine. Stepping up to the right-hand side against Thomas, who deals high and tight for ball 1. Donovan batting .217 on the season, 8 games, 23 at-bats, 5 hits. Leads this team with 7 walks. The 1-0. Breaking ball for a strike. 1-1 the count. Dylan Thomas posting a breaking ball. It's a bit of a slurve. The 1-1. Called strike 2, and Hyannis is a strike away from 6 consecutive wins. They lead 7-5. And Dylan Thomas on to close the door for the Harbor Hawks. He holds out his glove and gets the sign from Wilkie. The 1-2 pitch. Cut on and sent high in the air to the left side of the infield. Seth Gray making the call, but called off by Davis Wenzel, who closes his glove on the final out of the Harbor Hawks' 6th straight win here in Brewster, Massachusetts. A 7-5 W for the Harbor Hawks as the bullpen and dugout clear onto the field to get in a handshake line. And on the opposite end for the Whitecaps, 6 consecutive losses. It's a tale of 2 ball clubs, a tale of 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. Hyannis with the best record in the Cape, flexing their muscles tonight on the Brewster Whitecaps. And Brewster just helpless, locked in the cellar, 5th place in the East, staying at 7 points, dropping down to 3-12-1. Hyannis, on the other hand, jumping out to 10-4-1. 21 points for the Harbor Hawks. And Robert, this game really just emblematic of the whole season for the Harbor Hawks. They get behind early, but man, the top of the 5th inning, and as this team just moved on, they just kept getting more comfortable and getting better.
Absolutely. I think the first couple of innings, really there was kind of feeling teams out, and then the home run there for them to go up 3-0, I think was a really shock for the Harbor Hawks. You know, coming today being the best team in the league and then losing. They currently were losing 3-0 against the last place Brewster team. They definitely came back together, scoring 4 runs and then 2 after that, and then adding another one in the 9th. So the Harbor Hawks are still the best team in the league.
Well, let's actually take a look at that big 5th inning that Hyannis had, where they were able to get things started with a single from Alec Trella, who came around to score. And by the time it was all said and done, 4 runs on 4 hits for the Harbor Hawks. Who really stood out to you in that top of the 5th inning as someone who got things started for Hyannis?
I really think the first 2 guys that got on, I think it was really a culmination of the game, really, because the first couple of guys got on for the Harbor Hawks in a couple of innings, but they weren't able to do anything with it. Those first couple of guys got on, and then the trend went upward.
James Acuna was pitching an outstanding game before that big 5th inning hit. He went through 4 completely scoreless. The Harbor Hawks were unable to touch him whatsoever. Struck out 4, but ended up giving up 3 earned runs, and Hyannis was able to add another 2 spot in the top of the 7th inning on more clutch hitting from Pedro Pages and Matt Barefoot. They've looked pretty comfortable in the 4 and 5 spot over the last 2 games, Robert. Any reason for Coach Gassman to even try and move them at this point?
Definitely not. The saying is, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And it definitely isn't broken.
Well, Matt Barefoot looked as comfortable as could be in the leadoff spot, but he's looked great batting 4th as well for Hyannis, and Pedro Pages still on a roll. A pair of hits and a walk, 2 for 4 on the day. 3 RBI for Pages in this game, his 2nd consecutive game with multiple runs batted in. So again, Hyannis taking this one 7-5 here from Stony Brook Field. I'll step aside here and give way to Lyle Goldstein, who will anchor post-game coverage here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network when we get back. Stick around. One last time, the final score, Hyannis 7 and Brewster 5.
Magic Works Media copyright.
And welcome back into the Hyannis Harbor Hawks postgame show. I'm your host, Lyle Goldstein, as Hyannis has just won their 6th consecutive contest, downing the Brewster Whitecaps at Stony Brook Field by a final score of 7-5 tonight. The player of the game for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, well, it's a toss-up, but I think we're going to give the edge tonight to Matthew Barefoot. Had 3 hits on the night, a 3-for-5 night, 2 singles and a double, an RBI to his name, also stole a base and scored 2 runs. He is off to just a torrid summer this season. The outfielder out of Campbell University continuing to scorch any pitching that comes his way. James Acuna, the starter for the Whitecaps tonight, lasted just 4 1/3, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, and struck out 4. But focusing more on the Harbor Hawks, Houston Roth, the winning pitcher tonight, 4 2/3, giving up 3 earned runs on 3 hits, striking out 3. And then you've heard this one a few times before. The Harbor Hawks bullpen slamming the door on the Whitecaps here in the back end of the ball game. Kyle Kemp, Brett Scholes, and Dylan Thomas all coming in for Hyannis after the outing of Houston Roth, allowing just 2 runs, that coming from Schultz in the 8th inning as Brewster fought their way back into it a little bit. But ultimately, after the score was 6-5, Hyannis added an extra run in the 7th on a Matthew Barefoot stolen base towards home on what was a called steal. It was a delayed steal by Chad Gassman. Todd Locke got himself caught in a pickle, and that was on purpose so the runner could score from 3rd in Barefoot. But sticking on the bullpen, those 3 guys combined to really keep the Brewster Whitecaps off their toes, on their toes, I should say, tonight. And they win by a score of 7-5. Hyannis continuing to swing the bats well after the offense was off to a slow start in the early going of the summer. They put together 9 hits and, of course, plate 7 runs, as that 6th win keeps them atop the Western Division and atop the entire Cape Cod Baseball League, as they now sit at a record of 10-4-1. To take you around the rest of the league very quickly, Katuitt currently leads Bourne at Doran Park by a score of 5-4. Bourne again in another close one last night against the Brewster Whitecaps. They took the game here at Stony Brook Field by a score of 10-9. Wareham really pouring it on Chatham at Spillane Field by a score of 7-1. That game in the top of the 6th. In the 8th inning, the Whitey Red Sox up 2-1 on the Harwich Mariners. That an Eastern Division game between 2 foes, not too far apart from each other. And finally, at Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth, Commodores up 1-0 on the Firebirds. Falmouth really starting to find their stride here about a third of the way through the season. See if they can keep the struggling Firebirds off balance for the remainder of that one. Both teams in desperate need of a win. But one more time here tonight, Hyannis wins by a score of 7-5. The final line on Hyannis, 7 runs on 9 hits, made 2 errors and left 8 on base. Brewster scores 5 runs on 7 hits, commits 1 error, and strands 4. Houston Roth, the winning pitcher for tonight, the right-hander out of Ole Miss who got the start for Hyannis. Chris Murphy, the left-hander out of San Diego coming in relief, takes the loss for Brewster tonight. And Dylan Thomas picks up the save, a multi-inning save from the Hawaii right-hander, slamming the door on the Whitecaps in the bottom of the 8th as well as the 9th. That'll do it for me here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll catch you tomorrow, weather permitting, in Falmouth as Hyannis goes for their 7th straight tomorrow night against the Commodores. This has been Lyle Goldstein on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.